And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hamilton versus Seiler. Step forward, please.
24-year-old nursing assistant Sean Hamilton is suing his ex-girlfriend, 21-year-old nursing assistant April Seiler, for destroying his 52-inch television set. April says she caught Sean cheating.
This is Miss Seiler, who has a very bad temper. Mr. Hamilton, you and Miss Seiler were living together for several years. You have a child together.
Yes, sir.
According to your complaint, the defendant became irrationally jealous because she had heard some rumors of you fooling around at work. And one day she came to work, she confronted you, she saw you talking to this woman. When you got home from work, you found that she had destroyed a 52-inch television set. Is that right?
Yep.
So let me hear. That's what he's suing for. When did you destroy his television set? On what date?
July 20th, I think.
And tell me what happened on July 20th.
I went up to work and I've seen
His
him.
work?
Our work.
You work at the same place?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And he was talking to a female and I asked him what was going on and he said that they were just friends. And so I said, well, that's not what I've heard. So I went home and he stayed with...
And that's all that was the whole conversation?
Basically, and he stayed with the girl. And I went
And you said,
home.
that's not what I've heard, and you left?
I said, that's not what I've heard. You guys have been seeing each other. And she said, it's not like that. And he said, we're just friends. And I said, whatever, and I walked away.
Okay.
And then I went home and I was talking to my mom on the phone.
You were telling your mother what had happened?
Yes, and I was very mad, so I said, oh, I hate him, and I kicked the TV. And there's like a big hole, and my whole foot like went inside the TV.
So you destroyed the television?
Mm-hmm. And then a couple minutes later, he came home and said he was going to sue me and took the money that was left to get by with for the week and left.
How much did he take?
Maybe $300, $400.
And then whose money was that?
Ours.
When you were living together, you pooled your money?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what happened?
Yes, sir.
You pooled your money. So this $300 or $400, how much was it that you took when you
It was approximately $300. But, Your Honor, later on in the week, I did come back and I did give her some money.
How much money did he give you later on in the week?
Hmm? He gave me money before the incident for bills, but he never gave me any money.
Afterwards?
Yeah.
The moral of the story is never fool around with a man's 52-inch television set.
And can I say another thing?
Sure.
This was like 2 weeks before football season, so...
You're not endearing yourself to me, Mr. Hamilton. Go ahead.
He's done this before in the past, and the girl confronted me and said that he had been asking her out, emailing her, he's been calling her on the phone, and I have, you know, it's going to be 2 kids with him.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The two of you are not married.
No, ma'am.
You're going to have 2 children.
Yes.
Why aren't you married?
Money.
What do you mean money?
Well, I've offered to marry her, you know, just go and get married now and then, you know, later, you know, we could have our big wedding or whatever, but you'd have to ask her.
Why didn't you get married 2 years ago?
Can't trust him.
You can't trust him enough to marry him, but you trust him enough to have 2 children with him?
Yeah.
Mr. Hamilton, my next question to you is, if the defendant came up to you and you were talking to this woman and she had some concerns about the relationship that you were having with this woman, why didn't you leave with her and go home and say, listen, it's really nothing. She's really just a friend. Stop getting upset.
All right. First of all, we work at a hospital, okay? It's like 95% female, so I mean, for me sitting with this girl, and she wasn't in her right state of mind or something because she came up and she started swinging at me. You know, I couldn't really get anything out, you know, because I'm like covering up, and then she didn't just walk away, she ran away. You know, I'm at work, I can't just leave work.
Did you start swinging as soon as you came up?
No.
No?
No.
Now, you bought this television set in 1998, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Whose money did you use?
It was mine. I had sold some rims. I had these wheels prior, you know, before we even started dating or anything, and I got $1,200 for them, and then I saved up a little bit of cash and bought the TV.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, but he had been working off and on for the last 2-3 years.
I work on and off. I was doing lawn care at the time, and we get, you know, you can only do lawn care in Michigan because it snows 6 months out of the...
So who was supporting the household when you weren't doing lawn work at the time you bought
I would do
television?
odd jobs in the wintertime, like plow snow. And
Were you working full-time?
Mm-hmm.
And she was working full-time?
Yeah. But I would bring it in a sufficient amount of money, you know, enough to pay the bills and everything.
Where are you living now?
I live at my mom's right now.
You have a TV?
No, ma'am, I don't. I don't have nothing from the house.
I have no furniture?
Nothing.
He took the couch.
I had
and
one
sold
couch
it.
that was in the basement that our cats urinated on for 2 years.
Did you move in that house together?
Yes, but her name's on the house.
But you moved into the house together. Did you furnish it together?
Yeah.
And when he left, you kept all the furniture except for the couch that was in the basement?
He took his computer.
I'm talking about furniture.
Yes, because now I'm stuck with the house and I can't afford it, so I'm going to have to sell it. And I told him I would give him the stuff, but for now it's me and my daughter, you know.
So you have the furniture?
Which is fine. She can have the furniture, and I mean, you know, I want my
He just
daughter.
wants a TV. You see
Yeah.
how important? Because
Well,
football
every time
season.
we got in a fight, she told me, you know, get your TV and get the F out. I mean, I feel the TV's mine.
So you need some money to go out and buy a new TV, right?
That'd be nice.
Well, she had a temper tantrum. So when you have a temper tantrum, you got to pay for a temper tantrum.
And I have pictures of the TV too, Your Honor.
But believe me, sir, I have a husband. I know what a 52-inch TV is. Now, how much is it going to cost you to buy a TV? You paid $1,200 for this one?
I have receipts here.
Can I see it?
Yes, you can.
How much was the television set? So you got a whole lot of other things here.
I paid $15.49 for my TV.
Okay.
And that model's not made anymore, so they compared it to the model that's out now. That's closest to it.
Well, you may have to get a 48-inch television. And I'm not even going to depreciate it because, Miss Seiler, you ended this relationship, or this relationship was ended, and it seems to me that over the 2 years or more that you were living together, you accumulated certain property that you're keeping. All he wants is his TV. You destroyed it. And he paid $1,549 for it, and I'm issuing a judgment for the plaintiff in that amount. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Yeah, this is case number 401 on the calendar in the matter of Dawson versus Wade. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. Dawson, you are the head of a church group?
No, I'm not a head. I'm just one of the members of the church group.
And you?
I'm a member also. I'm his wife.
According to your complaint, your church group sold a van at auction at a
Yes.
charity event. Is that right?
Yes, we donated to...
You donated... Shh, put your hand down. Explain that to me. You had a van.
Right.
The van was the church's van, and it had a logo on it.
Yes, we retired it.
She bought the van at auction. Put your hand down, madam, and stop moving around. You're making me very seasick. Just be quiet and behave. So far, you're not losing, but don't irritate me. The money that was retrieved from this auction went back to the church?
Yes.
So you sold the van. She bought the van. Your lawsuit involves a request to have her remove and paint the logo so that nobody can see that it belonged to the church. Is that right?
Yes.
Why?
Reason being is that we have an outreach ministry that we do a work out in Los Angeles County, and our name is vividly seen in the neighborhoods, and that's the reason
And
why...
it was on the van.
Yes.
You have a picture of the van?
Yes, I do.
Let me take a look at the picture of the van with the logo on it.
This one.
While I'm looking at that, Mr. Dawson, who was in charge of making the arrangements to give the van out for auction?
The pastor of our ministry.
All right, now I see it. It's got your name all over it. Now I see it. How much did you pay for it?
I paid $800.
Good. And when you got it, it had these markings on it?
Yes, it did.
And you don't want the markings on it?
No.
Not in her possession?
No.
So why don't you take them off before you sold it?
Well...
What does that have to do with her? Where are you people coming from? Put your hand down a second. Where are you people coming from? You want to sell this, you turn it over to an auctioneer, they sell it, and now you're suing her. Stop, listen to me, Miss Wade, if you don't give me the attitude, I am totally unimpressed with your attitude, and it's irritating. You don't want to pass this along to somebody? You paint it over before you sell it. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, but they had made an agreement that they would be taken off before...
Who made the agreement?
The auctioneer the person who would purchase the van would take it off.
Who made the arrangement? You made the arrangement with her, or somebody made the arrangement with the auction house?
With the auction house.
Sue them. What are you suing her for?
Can I say something?
What?
The reason we're suing her is because our ministry is very popular throughout Southern California, Anaheim, even in San Diego. We do a very good work with children, gang prevention, youth.
Very nice. What? Keep going.
The reason I'm saying this is because they're going around in our van representing our ministry, cursing, screaming, yelling.
Miss Dawson.
Yes, ma'am.
They are not representing your ministry. She's driving around in a van that she bought, that your ministry failed to ensure did not have its logo on it because it turned it over to an auction house to sell it with the logo on it. And if you didn't want the logo on it, paint it before you sell it.
I understand that, ma'am.
Period. End of discussion. She's not holding herself out to be your ministry. She's driving around in a van she purchased. You want her to spend more than $800?
Yes, she is. She's representing our ministry. She said that she takes the youth around in our ministries. They like it on there. They don't want to take it off. We offered to take it off for them, to take it off professionally, and they said no. He likes it on there. He was belligerent. He cursed. He threatened my pastor's wife. He called the church.
That's it. He liked it.
Yeah, but it's
representing
our ministry. It's representing our ministry. We get calls from all over the Southern California area, from Torrance to Los Angeles, complaining that how could our ministry do something like that, curse with children around. We don't do that. They're misrepresenting our ministry, and they won't take it off. Who would want to drive around with a Youth Action for Christ Jesus sign when they don't even represent Christ? We represent Christ.
Let me, madam, give you an example that maybe you will understand.
Yes, ma'am.
The Beatles used to tour this country on a bus.
Yes, ma'am.
And they had the word Beatles on the bus. Trademark. Now, let us say at the end of their tour, they decided that they had no further need for this bus, and they were going to sell it. And they put an ad in the paper. Take away the third party, the auction house. They put an ad in the paper. I see this ad and I say, gee, I would really like to have a Beatles bus. I'd like to have a bus that I knew the Beatles drove around in, and that had their name on it, that had their pictures on it. I want that. And I'm prepared to spend the money for it. So I answer the ad. They say the bus is $25,000. I say, sold. That's what I want. I want to take my kids touring, my kids and my grandchildren. I want to be stuck in a bus with my grandchildren, right, touring the country in this Beatles bus. Paul McCartney says, you got to take, after I pay the $25,000, you got to take our name off the bus.
I understand.
I say, oh, no, you want to sell this bus without your name on it, take it off. I bought it with the name on it.
I understand.
It's my bus.
Yes, ma'am.
She bought the whole package.
She sure did.
And if your minister made a mistake by not removing the logo before he turned it over for sale, that's his problem.
Can I clarify something? My husband failed to mention that my minister was responsible for letting us take the van. We were responsible for taking the names off. We failed, and we're trying to take care of it now. My ministry is not responsible for it.
You can't.
I called the police, and they said the only thing I could do is go to small claims court to petition to them to take it off. She met with my husband, and she was very nice about saying okay.
What I'm telling you is, if she wants to, she can.
If
you want to give her money, maybe if you give her money, she'll say, fine, I'll take it off. Maybe $400 would make it feel better for me. Well, maybe, but you cannot require her. Because
we didn't require her. We asked her, and she was very nice. She was very humble, and she said, sure, to come take it off. We called her husband. He said, who do you think you are calling my house? You're not going to take anything. He cursed. He said, if you say another word, I'm going to hang up in your face.
I heard you, Miss Dawson. You're not listening to me.
I'm sorry.
You're not listening to me. If it was your responsibility, you didn't take care of your responsibility. You can't clean it up now. I'm telling you cannot require her to take off the logo from the bus because you don't like the language she uses or somebody uses when they're in the bus driving around. You cannot require her to do that.
It's not just the language.
I don't care what it is. Yes, I don't care if she was mooning people when she was driving around with your bus.
I understand
you
that.
cannot require her to do it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He pulled out the razor blade and was starting to proceed to take the lettering off my van. And I was like, wait a minute, hold up. You can't take this off my car right now.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Anthony Dawson and his wife Kimlin are suing Danye Wade for misrepresenting herself as part of their ministry. The Dawsons say Dunier purchased a van from their church and refuses to remove the logo.
Now, you may pay her and say to her, listen, let's enter into an agreement, and perhaps I will, I'll give you money. You want some money to remove this from the bus?
Yes, if they want.
Just a minute.
Okay.
Here we go. How much money do you want?
I want 15 for it. 1,500 for it.
Well, you only paid 800.
Can I explain why?
No, just a minute. You only paid 800. So explain to me. Explain to me why you want 15. You know, you're going to. Let me explain something. You're going to get nothing.
Okay.
Because
okay,
what I'm trying to do is to make an arrangement that will satisfy everybody.
Okay.
It would have to be a voluntary arrangement. Do you understand? Not something that's loony.
Okay.
So, if you want some money so that they will paint it, give it a nice fresh coat of paint, that sounds reasonable to me.
Okay, but may I explain to you the reason why I want 15 for it?
Sure.
Okay, because first of all, when I bought the van was $800. I paid $400 to register the car. Didn't have a problem. When I bought the van, my intentions was to take the lettering off because I didn't want it. I wanted to paint it in one color, and I couldn't afford it. You know, I just didn't have the money to buy it. Okay, one day I was shopping at a store. I came out my store to this man right here, this minister, at my van, doing something to my van. Okay, when I got to you wasn't even there.
Oh, yes, she was.
Just a second. Put your hand down.
Little girl. Okay.
Listen to me.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Say okay.
I'm sorry. Okay, so
I don't want you. Okay. I don't want you to talk to them. You talk to me.
Okay.
You understand? You came out of a store. What was he doing to your van?
At that time, I didn't know what he was doing because when I walked out the store, I could see him at the van, and as I got closer to the van, he was walking away, and then when I got to the van, me and my son, he walked towards me, and I asked him what was he doing. And he was like, he identified himself, I'm the minister of this church, and I thought when they sold you the van, they took the lettering off of it. And I was like, no, they didn't. I bought this like this, but I have intentions on taking it off. And he asked me, he was like, well, can I take it off? I was like, sure. I gave him the number. I said, let's make arrangements. And he pulled out the razor blade and was like, he pulled out the razor blade, and I can describe exactly what kind of razor blade. It was like a box cutter. He pulled out the razor blade and was starting to proceed to take the lettering off my van, and I was like, wait a minute, hold up. My baby looking in the car, he looking out the window. I'm like, you can't take this off my car right now. You cannot do this. We have to make arrangements. I just told you to call me. I jumped in my car. I put off. I went home. I told my neighbors and everything. I was like, you won't believe what just happened to me.
Now
okay.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
So just a second.
I'm like, you won't believe what just. Okay.
Miss Wade, now you told me what happened. Now,
I have to take.
You're moving around. You're making me very, very dizzy. Either one of two things are going to happen today. Either I'm just going to send you both packing because they have no case. You have no case on a counterclaim. If you are prepared to have them pay to repaint the van, how much are you prepared to accept so that they will be happy and according to you, you will be happy? And don't tell me $1,500 because $1,500 is going to buy you the door.
Okay, can I say something now? He took letters off the van. It's letters off the van. His name is off the van.
Fine.
Half of his letters. I didn't tell him to do that. Fine. I told him let's make arrangements.
Fine. Listen to me very carefully, Miss Wade. Let me ask you this question. Miss Wade, you're not following what I'm saying. I asked you for a figure. So, how much will it cost to paint the van?
Well, I went to Earl Shy and they said $600 to repaint the car.
Good. $600 to repaint it. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Dawson, are you prepared to spend $600 to correct your mistake? Is the question. The answer is either yes or no. You're not. You have no case. So she wants $600 so that she can, or you can, take it where they paint cars and have it painted.
We offered to have it removed professionally. We don't want to pay $600 to have it removed.
Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They sit there and act like he didn't pull out the razor blade.
We wouldn't even use a scraper. We were going to use a blow dryer on our property. It doesn't even work like that to remove it professionally.
Right. We had someone who was going to take it off.
That was a lie.
They sitting here acting, putting on a show, acting like they didn't do it and act like I'm just so innocent. No, you're not innocent, not at all. You are hypocrites.
Yeah, this is case number 408 on the calendar in the matter of Baker versus Baker. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mrs. Baker, the defendant is your former husband, and I gather from your complaint that despite the fact that you are divorced, you still maintain a relationship. Is that correct? Well, you did at the time of this incident. Is that right?
Yes.
You allege that Mr. Baker assaulted you. You want him to pay for the medical expenses as well as lost wages and pain and suffering as a result of that assault. Mr. Baker says the truth of the matter is that you assaulted him, and despite the fact that he did not sustain any physical injury that required treatment, he was in fact arrested, as you were, and he wants you to pay for all of his out-of-pocket expenses, including his attorney's fees. That is his counterclaim. So I'd like you to tell me, Mrs. Baker, your version of the events of the 15th of September.
Okay, September 15th was a Sunday. We were home watching football. My daughter, my oldest daughter, had come into town from her boot camp. And
How old is she?
She is 19. There's animosity between my daughter and Mr. Baker from a previous assault that he assaulted her. Anyway, we were bringing up the fact that I wanted Shauna to come over and visit, and he didn't want her in the house. She came over to make peace.
She had actually come to the house?
Yes, and I said to him, my daughter wants to make peace with you. Would that be okay? And he got very upset and said, no, you were supposed to give me 24 hours notice if she's going to be around, and she needs to leave.
And so she left?
Yeah, so she left.
Okay.
So we continued with the football. I apologized to him. I was trying for him not to be mad. I always have to make sure he doesn't stay mad. And he started calling her just horrible names, and I begged him to stop. I actually was on my knees in front of the couch pleading with him, please stop saying all those horrible things about her. I slapped him on his face, and I realized that I shouldn't have done that because now I'm going to get in big trouble. And he did come up. He got me into a chokehold. At one point, I was actually sitting on the ground. He had me in a neck hold. He had his fist right over top of me, and he said, do you want me to finish this right now? And I stopped talking because up until then I was calling him a coward and that he only bullies girls and he bullies my daughter and bullies women, but he never bullies any men. So anyway, he pushed me back down. My face went down, and I never saw it coming. I never got a chance. And he kicked me in the face and just threw me back. Blood just started gushing out. I leaned over the coffee table. I vomited blood. And I asked him, do you want to call the police or do you want me to call the police? And he ran and hid.
What kind of injuries did you sustain?
They took me to the hospital. I have a broken nose. The broken nose, a concussion.
You have a hospital report?
Yes.
Now, can I see the police report, please?
It's a two-part police report.
Can I have his as well so that I can make sure I have all the report?
Because it was a domestic violence, they had Jane Doe and John Doe.
Had you been drinking?
Yes, we both had been.
You both been drinking vodka and orange juice?
Yes.
Was that the drink of choice? How much had you been drinking that day, both of you?
I was drinking my fourth cocktail in about probably 4 hours.
And you?
Probably about the same.
Think that contributed to getting the situation getting out of hand?
I don't know. He drinks an awful lot, a lot more than I do.
Did you tell the police that after you slapped him in the face with your open hand and there was an altercation where he was pushing you down on the couch that you were trying to hit him in the testicles and stomach?
That's when
Did you tell that to the police?
Yes.
And that was before he kicked you?
Yes.
All right, let me hear your version of these events, sir.
It happened pretty much along the same lines she says, but without a few details. I was sitting on the couch, we were both sitting on the couch watching a football game, and we were cheering for the same team, having a good time, and we had argued previously on the previous day about her daughter, and I have a problem with her daughter, and she has a problem with me. And because of our history, it's just not a good idea to have her in our house while I'm there. And all I asked for was a reasonable time of notice so that I could leave, and she can spend as much time as she wants to with her daughter. She did not go along with it on that night because her daughter's getting out of boot camp and she's here visiting. And I said, fine, but I don't want to be here. So she wants me to make up with her daughter. I don't want to make up with her daughter. She made a false statement against me and told the police that I assaulted her 6 months ago, when in fact it was her and my wife that got into the fight. I don't want her in my house.
Gotcha.
Period.
Okay. So what happened after your wife slapped you?
She didn't slap me, Your Honor. She punched me in the jaw. She punched me there. She punched me a second time in the shoulder. She grabbed my back. Then she grabbed my wrist. She threw me to the floor. I got a rug burn on this knee. Then as I was attempting to stand up, she grabbed me again. I have photos of that also, of everything, of my injuries. Also the medical report on the back. All of these things happened before her nose was injured.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Here you said, so I lightly slapped his mouth to try to stop him. That sounded to me like he went like this. Oh no, don't say those things about Shauna. Well, what you really did was haul off and slug him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Deborah Baker claims she had a knockdown, drag-out brawl with her estranged husband, Bill Baker. Deborah says that's when Bill kicked her in the face.
Mr. Baker, your wife doesn't have a lawsuit, at least a viable one, because she started it. She hit you first.
She hit all of them.
Well, she hit you first, she's hit you second, she tried to kick you, she tried to hit you in your stomach, she tried to hit you in your testicles. She acknowledged that to the police. She had had a little bit to drink. The fact that she ended up with a broken nose, that's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. When you start a fight, sometimes you get the worst of it. You understand that, Mrs. Baker? You started the fight.
I slapped his mouth.
I don't care whether you slapped his mouth. You,
okay.
I mean, even here, even in your complaint that you filed here, what you did was minimize what you actually did. I assumed that because you knew that I would be looking at the police reports, you came clean. But here you said, so I lightly slapped his mouth to try to stop him from saying the horrible things. That sounded to me like he went like this. Oh no, don't say those things about Shauna. Well, what you really did was haul off and slug him.
No, I did not punch him.
I
did not punch him.
Whether you slugged him with an open hand or a fist, that doesn't make any difference. You hit him first. He's going to tell me that he didn't mean to kick you, that you were struggling and, you know, you're trying to bite him on the toes, I think is what he says here, and that his foot extended and he kicked you in the face. But even if he kicked you in the face, after you slapped him, you can't complain because you got the worst of the fight. That's what happens. You put your hands on somebody first, you get the worst of the fight. You don't come to court and say, now you got to compensate me. You don't waste my time with that. The only question is, you have no lawsuit. The only question is whether he does or not. Because you started this fight, you were furious, and you weren't about to let it go, and you told the police, amongst other things, that you weren't begging him to be nice to Shauna, which is what you tell me in your complaint. You were calling him all kinds of names. You called him a wimp, you called him all kinds of other names before you got kicked.
Yes.
Well,
and I don't think that gives him the right to kick me when my face is down.
I want to tell you something. Where was his face when you slapped him?
He was sitting on the couch.
You make a difference whether your face is down or whether you're sitting on the couch?
He was looking straight at me. He was calling me
Miss Baker, let me tell you something. You don't get any special compensation here because you're a woman and you got the worst of a fight. You started it. You put your hands on him first. You don't get rewarded for that. Case over. Now, you have a counterclaim. You have a counterclaim because you want Mrs. Baker to compensate you for what you spent as a result of being arrested that day. Let me see. Because that sounds viable to me. I don't know why you were arrested. I have no idea why you were arrested. Well, I know why you were arrested. You were arrested because she looked worse than you did. What happened with these cases? They were both dismissed?
Yes.
Yes.
both decided not to follow through with them. Is that right?
It wasn't our choice. It was the attorneys, city attorneys.
Maybe he's afraid of city attorney's political future. I am not. I don't like domestic violence in whatever form it takes. But that doesn't mean that only women can be the victims of domestic violence. Men can be the victims of domestic violence as well. And unfortunately, this is a case where he was the victim of domestic violence. He was defending himself from you. You were out of control. You were out of control according to what you told the police. According to what you told the police, first you hit him. Then you try to hit him in the testicles. You try to hit him in the stomach. And after that, he kicked you.
That was to get him to get me out of the headlock. He had me in the headlock.
After that,
I was grabbing
he hit you. He kicked you and hurt you. That's what happened. And then he was arrested. His injuries look as bad as yours. He's got scratches all over him. He's got black and blue marks all over him.
Yeah,
and he was arrested. The reason he was arrested is because the police are very, very sensitive about domestic violence. When in doubt, arrest everybody. You know, and I can't fault them for that, because there have been lawsuits involving the police and domestic violence. So they say, listen, when in doubt, let the city attorney decide, or the county attorney decide what they're going to do, which is what they did in this case. And the county attorney wimped out. I won't.
Yeah.
I'm awarding Mr. Baker $1,500 on his counterclaim. Your claim is dismissed. That's all.
Excuse me. Step out.
He's attacked her. He kicked her in the head while she was on the floor as well.
I just want to get on with my life and move forward.
It was a cowardly chicken thing to do, and I'm just really glad that I'm out of it.
This is case number 221 on the calendar in the matter of Collins versus Deal. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats.
Ms. Collins, you and the defendant were engaged. It is your claim that he purchased an engagement ring for you, an engagement ring set for you, bought it on your credit card. The engagement is over, the relationship is over, you want the rings back, or you want him to pay off the credit card. Is that what you want? He says you actually took the rings back. He doesn't have possession of the rings, you have them, and he is counterclaiming for some medical bills that he says he paid for you. There was an agreement that you would pay him back, and you never did. Is that right, sir?
That's right.
Who's got the rings?
I do not have the rings with me.
But you have them at home?
No, I do not have the rings at all.
Did you take the rings back from his house?
No, I did not. He has the rings. I'm making payments on the rings. Supposedly, I took the rings. I did not take the rings.
Let's start, so we don't have to go back to the year of the flood. You're engaged, you're happy, you're together, buys the rings using her store credit. And then you break up. On what date did you break up?
I'd say the end of August.
And who had the rings at that time?
I did. I was making payments. The agreement was if I had the rings, I was going to pay for them.
So she gave you back the ring?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Now, tell me about how the rings came from your possession to her possession.
Okay, first of all, she is wearing some of the rings that she took from my house. July 15th through the 17th, she had a fight with her boyfriend. She thought they were breaking up or something like that, so she came over after work, and we started talking. One thing led to another, we had sex. I went to the kitchen to get some water. She ran down the hall, locked herself in my room. She knew exactly where the rings were. When I went there, the door was locked. I had to go in the other room, get my spare key to get it out. Those rings right there were in the room. Same thing. I said, you know, I'm not going to pay for them if you have them. That's, you know, why pay for something you don't have? That's my whole thing. She said, fine. She thought because we had sex that everything was going to be okay. She was going to like, oh, next month he's going to pay because we had sex. And I'm tired of getting used by her. That's all she does. She just uses people.
There's no way I could have gone to his room. He locks his room with a key. My mother can vouch for that because she came over one day where his room was locked. His room was always locked. Always. There's no way I could have stormed down his hallway and went in his room.
When I am home, I don't lock my house. I don't lock my room. When I'm away, I lock my room. That's plain and simple. I have roommates. Everyone goes in and out.
You broke up when?
The 4th.
April?
Yeah, April.
April. And so you made payments in May?
Yeah, I was making payments all the way
Made
through.
payments in June? And made payments in July?
That is correct.
And in July 15th to 17th, I gather there's no issue that you were at his house.
I was not at his house, and I did not sleep with him. I have not been at his house for probably close to 4 months.
Do you have any witnesses?
Yes, I have my mother. She can testify about the rings with the conversation she had with him.
Oh, let me hear what you have to say about the rings. What's your last name, Collins?
Jared.
Tell me the conversation you had with the defendant about the rings.
After they had broke up and after they're purchasing the rings, Melissa would talk to Chuck every month to make sure that he was going to make the payment because it was her credit. And he said yes. Well, in June, they weren't getting along very well, and she had told Chuck that she would like to have her rings back because she's tired of dealing with him every month and having to call to see if he's going to make the payments because it's her responsibility. And she said, if you don't give me my rings back, I'm just going to go to court because it's my account and I'm responsible for the loan. Chuck called me on my cell phone in June on my way to work, left me a message, a very lengthy message that Melissa called him, said that she wanted her rings back. He didn't understand why I'm making the payments. She said she's threatened to take me to court. I don't understand why I'm making the payments. And then that was when the next day she had called me and said that Chuck had called her and said yes, but he, of course, at that point said that she had stolen the rings. But then he made the payments in July and August.
So what you're saying is they broke up in April, but sometime in June, she said, I want the rings back.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Even though he was making the payments, she said, I want the rings back.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. She took them. Sit down.
I
Your
did
claim
not
is
take
dismissed. Now I'm going to your counterclaim. You want to tell me about this surgery that you're talking about?
I like to go to Tahoe about every month. I took her to go to Tahoe, and on the way back we saw a sign for surgery, I guess. She said she wanted to get them done. I said, okay, that's fine. I was all, will you pay me back? She said, yes, I will. The only way that she could get them done is if I had to trick her mom and say it was a gift. That's the only way. Because her mom would not have let her done it.
Never.
Shh.
So we're on the way, we get there, and she goes, I swear I'll pay you back $100 a month. I say, okay, that's fine. Every month she...
When was this?
September 13, 2001.
Okay. And then you became engaged in October.
Yeah, yes,
Is that right?
That is correct.
In September, did she give you any money?
No, she didn't.
In October, did she give you any money?
No, she didn't.
November?
No.
December?
No, she didn't give me
January?
anything. She didn't give me anything.
Listen to me. January?
No.
February?
No.
March?
No.
April, you broke up.
Yes.
You became engaged in October,
Yes.
right? Bought her rings in October.
Yes.
Did you ever live together?
Yes, we did.
From when to when?
October to the February.
And the kind of surgery she had was cosmetic surgery. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
I hope you enjoyed it. Your counterclaim's dismissed. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She wants everything, but not pay for anything.
He's a liar. He's always going to be a liar. If I had the rings, I wouldn't be here.
She's a cheater. She always cheats. She can't keep a steady boyfriend.
He's crazy. He's psycho. He's a liar.
I'm just happy it's over. I don't want to deal with her anymore.
Your Honor, this is case number 22 on the calendar in the matter of Schroeder versus Weeks. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Mr. Schroeder, the defendant is your daughter. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm having a little bit trouble hearing you.
Okay, I will speak louder. Your wife passed away recently,
Yes.
and it is your claim that your daughter took certain jewelry of your wife's that you would like back.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what this claim is about.
Yes, ma'am.
Your daughter says that it was your wife's wish that she have this jewelry.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Weeks, was this the only property that your mother left?
She left some other family heirlooms and personal property, but nothing of significant value.
I assume that that's a box. Is that a box?
This is the watch that he claims, and the ring was my mother's.
I'd like to see both, please. Were your parents, Miss Weeks, estranged at the time of her death?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Well, in September of 1999, my mother was placed in an adult family home.
What was her illness?
Her diagnosis was multiple sclerosis at that time. And she was falling a lot. She was being left alone a lot. And Adult Protective Services were involved because of the fire department having to, she had one of those life call buttons. And the fire department was called to the house quite frequently to pick her up. And they felt that she was in a neglectful situation because she was not being properly cared for. And so Adult Protective Services started searching for alternative living arrangements for her.
And according to the complaint that I've read and your answer, there came a time around 1999 where you were given by your mother power of attorney.
That is correct.
Subsequently, in 2000, you were appointed her guardian.
That is correct.
Was her diagnosis ever modified from multiple sclerosis to something else?
Not officially, no.
All right. Now, what I found interesting about your answer was that in 2000 you were in fact appointed her guardian.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the court found that she was unable to take care of herself and make decisions for herself.
That is correct.
When was it that your mother told you that she wanted you to have this jewelry?
October, November of '99.
Did you take the jewelry at that time?
I did. And later, early part of 2000, she asked for me to give her back her ring because she wanted to wear it.
And she wore it until she died?
Yes, ma'am.
I do not want to get involved in, because I don't think it's necessary to estrange the two of you any further. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
How many?
I have 3 brothers and a sister.
Are you in touch with your other children, sir? Do you have any contact with your other children?
Pardon me?
Do you have any contact with your other
No, I
children?
don't.
So you have no contact with any of your children?
And I have, even my youngest boy got up and left at the funeral when my wife, her services were. And my daughter, to my immediate left, didn't even take the time to go to her mother's funeral.
Ms. Weeks, very briefly, can you tell me why all of the children, from your perspective, don't have contact with their father? Your parents were married for, according to this, 47 years.
Yes. My father, from the time we were small children, was very abusive towards the 5 of us children, as well as my mother. And I have the guardian ad litem report that has statements to that effect, if you would like to see that. And he was never supportive of any of our decisions or anything that we felt we wanted to do, and was very mean, has said very mean and hateful things towards my middle brother, to the point where
so it's a whole history.
Yeah, it's a very, very long and sordid history.
But Ms. Weeks, doesn't it strike you that in early 2000, your mother wanted her wedding rings back? Why do you think she wanted her wedding rings back?
She'd been married and wearing them for 40 years, and she missed wearing them. And
that's usually a symbolic thing.
It was a symbolic thing, yes.
She missed wearing them.
Yes.
I understand that you had gotten a protective order so that he didn't go to the nursing home after a certain point. At what point did he stop going to the nursing home?
In February of 2000 is when the order of protection was put into place due to his behavior when he did visit her and phone calls that he made when he called her there.
I am going to try to resolve this issue, as I think, as wisely as I can. Your mother gave you this watch in 1999.
No, the watch, Bob gave her that watch late last year. If he wants that watch back, he can have that watch back. That watch has no significant sentimental value to me whatsoever. What has value to me are my mother's things. He abandoned their home, and if I hadn't retrieved the few family heirlooms that I had retrieved from the home, they would have been in the city dump.
I'm talking about these two things, Mrs. Weeks.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I can understand probably each of the children wanting to have a memento, something
yes, ma'am,
to look at and to touch of their mothers. I can also understand from your father's perspective. Are you living alone now, sir?
I'm living, I have my own room. I'm taking care of a 90 lady that will soon be 91 years old.
But this is somebody that you care for, this is a job?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me why you want these wedding rings back, Mr. Schroeder.
I bought those rings for my wife 47 years ago. I gave my wife the first ring at her home at East Indiana when I was invited to supper by her mother, who has passed away. I feel I'm entitled to these rings. I paid for them since my daughter has made such terrible accusations about me, which are all unprovable. And I feel that I should have the rings and the watch back, plus other things that she took out of the home.
We're not talking about other things,
all right.
Mr. Schroeder. We're talking about the
ring
watch
and the watch. Yes, ma'am.
And the rings. Now, let me ask you this question, Mr. Schroeder.
Yes, ma'am.
If you had to make a choice between the watch and the rings as something, as a memento, which would you want?
I want them both, Your Honor. I paid for them.
That's not the answer, sir.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your children don't talk to you, Mr. Schroeder. There has to be a reason. And unless you want to live the rest of your life by yourself, I would suggest you do a little soul searching and figure out what that was.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Schroeder says his daughter, Julie Weeks, won't return his late wife's possessions. Julie says it was her mother's wish that she have the items.
Are they of equal importance to you?
Yes, ma'am.
You feel the same way. One was a gift to your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you telling me, Mr. Schroeder, that each of these items are as important to you as the other?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm going to ask you the same question, Miss Weeks. If I were to ask you which of these items, memento from your mother, is more important to you, which would it be?
It would be her ring. I wear it every day.
Give her, Miss Weeks, the ring. Give Mr. Schroeder the watch. Mr. Schroeder, that was the wrong answer, sir. The fact that you paid for them and they were yours is not the answer.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to tell you why, Mr. Schroeder. Children don't replace emotionally the loss of a parent, in this case, their mother. Sometimes mates replace emotionally their mate. They may never forget, but they replace emotionally. If you said to me, I want the rings back because we were married with those rings, she wore those rings for 47 years, they're part of our history, I want them, I would have given you the rings. And you have to understand that, Miss Weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
But to you, it didn't make any difference. You said to me, I paid for both. They're equally as important to me, so I want them both. Well, I knew that they weren't equally as important to your daughter, right?
That's right.
You have the watch, you have the rings, you probably never make up, I assume. Is that right?
That is correct, ma'am.
I assume so. That's very sad, but
it is sad.
You're a grown-up adult, and he probably is a lonely old man who doesn't have at this point in his life the support of his children or his grandchildren. I assume you don't see your grandchildren either.
No, I have a call regularly from Mary Ann in Florida.
Well, Mr. Schroeder, you should do a little
Mary
bit.
Ann is Julie's oldest daughter.
How old are you, sir? How old are you?
70 years old.
Well, that's not so old, Mr. Schroeder. There's still time for you to try to do something to get back into the good graces of your family. But you also have to look at yourself and say, what is it that I did over the last 45 years to my family that makes them all cut me off? Your children don't talk to you, Mr. Schroeder. There has to be a reason. And unless you want to live the rest of your life by yourself, I would suggest you do a little soul searching and figure out what that was. Thank you very much. The case is over.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I've tried to be kind to Bob. I've tried to show him care, and every time I open up and try to be kind to the man, he is hateful towards me.
I hope that someday that I can get to a point where I can see my grandchildren.
He has made the decision about his family.
Goodbye.
Yeah, this is case number 257 on the calendar in the matter of Michaud versus Canfield. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Miss Michaud, you have a teenage daughter who's been giving you some trouble, I gather. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that the defendant, who also has a teenager who's a little bit of a problem, the defendant assisted your daughter in running away from a shelter where she was placed. During the course of this running away, she committed a series of crimes for which you have been held responsible for the fines.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are suing her for interfering with your daughter's custody,
Yes, ma'am.
which caused you not only emotional distress, which you are suing for, but also the payment of these fines that you had to pay through the courts for the various crimes that your daughter committed while on the run.
Correct.
And you say that that was facilitated by the defendant's conduct in harboring her.
Correct.
The defendant says that she didn't know that all of this problem was going to develop when she went and picked your daughter up from a gas station where she had placed a call that she in fact tried to get her to return and turn herself in when she found out that she had done some of these things, that she was really only trying to help.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's your daughter?
Over there.
This
in the black, ma'am.
Step up here. What's your first name?
Amber.
How old are you, Amber?
17.
How old were you when all this trouble started? 17 or 16?
16.
Does the defendant have a daughter who's a friend of yours?
She used to be my friend.
What's her name?
Lissy.
Spell it.
Lissy.
Now, where were you and Lissy? Were you in a facility, in a shelter?
We were in Antrim Girl Shelter together.
And how did you get to this girl shelter?
I was put in the girl shelter for not going home for a week, the week I stayed at Lissy's house.
So your mother put you there?
No, the judge put me there because I was on probation and I was court ordered to be home.
You were on probation for what?
A lot of stuff. I don't remember exactly.
Well, was you on probation for stuff that involved your mother or stuff that involved the rest of the community, like shoplifting and stealing?
Stuff that involved the rest of the community.
So you had been arrested for committing a series of petty crimes?
Yes.
You were placed on probation. A condition of your probation was that you were to stay at home.
Yes.
And have a curfew. And
Yes.
do all the other things that a normal 16-year-old does.
Yes.
And you violated your probation, according to you. I'm just trying to put this in English so that everybody, including Bird, understands it.
Okay.
So you were told that you had to do everything right, and then you wouldn't go to jail.
Yes.
But you didn't. You went to stay at Miss Canfield's house with Lissy for a week.
Yes.
And then you were placed in this shelter by the judge because you violated the terms of your probation.
Yes.
When were you placed in the shelter with Lissy?
We met up in the shelter. I've been to the shelter like 3 times. And we met up there the first time I was there. And then it was Thanksgiving time. I stayed at her house because my probation officer told me that if I didn't stop getting in trouble, he was going to put me back in the shelter. So I went and stayed at Lissy's house. And then I decided to go home the day after Thanksgiving. And then I got sent to the shelter.
She was arrested the day after Thanksgiving, Your Honor. She called me from the Canfield residence and asked me if I was going to call the cops if she came home. I told her I wouldn't. When I hung up from her, I called the police station and told them, my daughter's on her way home. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to call you and tell you that she's here, and hang up the phone. And when she pulled in the driveway in the Canfield truck, I called the Dover Police Department and said, Amber's home, and hung up the phone. And the next thing I know, there was cops everywhere. And I did not inform her that I was going to do that. I did it because I needed to protect her. She wasn't protecting herself.
Okay. Had you, in fact, called Mrs. Canfield during this Thanksgiving week when she wasn't at the shelter?
No, ma'am, I did not. I did not know where my daughter was the week of Thanksgiving. I didn't know about Mrs. Canfield and Lizzie, other than Lizzie was Amber's friend. Amber would ask to go to Lizzie's house before Thanksgiving, and I let Amber go, not knowing the type of home that it was at the time.
Well, why didn't you know?
I guess ignorance on my part. Amber just said it was a friend of hers.
That's your job to know.
Yes, ma'am.
If you let your daughter, who's been in trouble before, go to a girl's house, and I assume you knew that she met Lissy at the shelter, right?
I wasn't sure where she had met Lizzie.
Well,
I've met
did you
Lizzie.
ask the question, where did you meet Lissy?
No, ma'am.
You're trying to place blame on this lady.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm coming back to you and I'm saying, maybe partially her fault, but let's come back to you. What information did you have or should you have had with proper exercise of your parental responsibility? What quality information could you have gotten if you asked a few questions or did a little digging? You would have found out that Lissy was a girl that she met at the shelter, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that would have told you one thing. Trouble! Then when she said, I want to spend some time at Lissy's house, say, okay, I'm going to get in the car and go over to Miss Canfield's and we're going to have a chat because just because you met her at the shelter, maybe she's not a girl who's all bad. Maybe it would be good for you to be together. But let me speak with Mrs. Canfield and find out what kind of a lady she is, what kind of a house it is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You did none of that?
No, ma'am.
So there's a little, on your side, a little blame.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What gives you the right to say if I can't deal with my daughter and she's bipolar?
Amber's bipolar,
This one's
Your Honor.
probably bipolar too.
Yes, ma'am.
Possible bipolar, possible just bad.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Gail Michaud says when her daughter, 17-year-old Amber Burley, ran away from home, she was aided by Lisa Canfield. Gail says during that time, Amber committed a series of crimes.
Now, when you ran away, Amber, you committed another series of crimes, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Like, what did you do?
When I left the shelter, I left with their van and...
The shelter's van? Yeah. How industrious of you.
Yes. It wasn't good on my half, and I also took allowance money.
What do you mean allowance money? Whose allowance money?
Like, they put all the girls' allowance money in one...
All the girls, not just your allowance, but so you stole money from the shelter. So you stole both the van and money.
Yes.
And you left with Lissy?
Lissy was at home. She had called me and told me that she was coming to get me because I had court in 2 days and I was supposed to go to the youth detention center.
Sounds like a perfect place for you.
Well, Lissy called and told me she was coming to get me, and then I called her house back and I talked to her mom and I informed her mom that I was coming.
Is that what she said to you?
No, Your Honor, that's not
what
what
did she say?
said. She had called a couple days before and had talked to Lissy, and then at one point had left a message on the answering machine for Lissy. I didn't realize she was going to leave placement at that time.
But you went and picked her up according to the complaint that I read.
A couple nights later at 2 o'clock in the morning, she called me and said she had been in an accident, and I didn't know that she had stolen the van. I didn't know that's how she had left placement, Your Honor.
Yes?
When I called Lissy, I told Lissy...
I'm not talking about Lissy, I'm talking about her mother.
Her mother. I told her mother that I stole the van and the money, I got into a car accident, and I needed a ride home. And I told her that I'd give her...
Baloney!
That's not what she said.
Bull! I don't believe that you told her I stole. Okay. I stole the van and I stole money, please come and get me, because I had an accident. That I don't believe. I might believe that you said to her I had an accident, and then later on she found out that you had stolen the van. But I don't believe that you right up front said to her I stole the van. Why would she come pick you up? Is she crazy?
Because I gave her $50 for coming to get me. With the stolen money, I said, can you please come and get me? I will give you $50.
That I believe. That you said to her, please, I was in an accident, come and get me, I'll give you $50. That I believe.
After I told her that I stole the money.
That I don't believe.
I did.
I mean, I don't know anything about her. All I know about you is that you're a liar, that you're a thief, that you place your needs over the needs of everybody else. So if I have to rely on my common sense would dictate to me that when you got on the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning, you wouldn't say anything that would turn off an alarm in her head and say, I better not get involved with this, that you would say, please, I had an accident, come and get me, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And she said, I don't think I want to do that. And you said, I'll give you $50 if you come and get me. And she may not be the nicest person. I mean, I may not entrust her with my grandchildren, but she doesn't sound to me like she's psychotic. You'd have to be psychotic to come and pick you up when you told her, I stole the van that I'm in, and I stole the money that I have, and I'm going to give you $50 of the stolen money. That doesn't jive with my common sense. In any event, you should have known better, Miss Canfield, because you knew where your daughter met her. You knew a lot more about her than just that she was a nice young girl from around the neighborhood that your daughter was palling around with. So you should have kept your nose out of other people's business.
Well,
right?
what was I didn't feel right leaving her in the middle of a snowstorm.
Tell her to call the police.
In a car accident.
Tell her to call the police, Miss Canfield.
I didn't do that. I just...
Well, I know you didn't do that, but you should have.
Yeah, well, I probably should
have.
Well,
you should have. Why didn't you say to her, why don't you call your mother?
Because she told me her mother doesn't have a license.
When did she tell you her mother doesn't have a license?
A long time ago, when she first started coming to our house.
Call another relative. Do you understand what I mean, Miss Canfield?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you understand that I believe that either through your own stupidity or whatever, you aided her in doing the wrong thing.
And that was not my intention, Your Honor.
Well, it may not have been your intention, but that's exactly what you did. When you went to pick her up, before you went, you did call her mother and tell her, I'm going to pick up your daughter.
Not at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Why not?
Because I didn't even have her phone number.
Why didn't you say to her, give me your mother's phone number? I wanted to know where you are.
Because I figured if she wanted to call her mother, she would have.
There's your problem. She's 16.
And I know that she had some problems with her mother before. That's why she came to my house at Thanksgiving.
That's not your business. You chose to let that be your business.
Because I feel bad for kids sometimes.
You having trouble with your own daughter?
Yes, and that's why I feel bad for kids sometimes.
That doesn't make you a poster mom for Dr. Spock.
No,
that
it
makes
doesn't.
you that makes you somebody who's had trouble rearing their own teenage daughter and doesn't make you an expert in child rearing. So you don't have enough parental skills to take care of your own daughter. What gives you the right to take care of somebody else's daughter who's a problem?
That bipolar has nothing to do with parental skills.
Oh, yes, just a second.
It's a disorder.
Just listen to me very carefully. I haven't heard that she's been diagnosed with being a bipolar.
My daughter has.
But what gives you the right to say if I can't deal with my daughter and she's bipolar?
Amber's bipolar,
This one's
Your Honor.
probably bipolar too.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe. You know, a lot of bad behavior has been attributed to a lot. They always like to put a label on things. You know, label instead of just being a rebellious teenager, just being somebody who is naughty, just being somebody who is undisciplined. Possible bipolar, possible just bad. People don't like to use that term. But it is possible. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You believe that Miss Canfield is responsible for all your troubles with regard to this incident. Is that right?
No, ma'am, I don't believe she's responsible for
Well,
all of them.
Good. You are at least partially responsible. You should have known where
Yes,
she
ma'am.
was. You
Yes,
should have known who Miss Canfield was. You should have visited her home.
Yes, ma'am.
You should have gotten some information about her before you let your daughter go there.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop moving around. Sorry. Okay. Now, what would the extent of your fines?
Right now, I'm still pending fines for something that also took place while I was at Miss Canfield's house. Me and her daughter went to a car dealership and took a bunch of cars. We took them to Miss Canfield's house. They were there for 2 days, and then we woke up one day and decided we were going to go see my dad. So we took one of the cars to Lissy's mom's work. We showed her the car. We told her that we were going to go up to my dad's. And then Lissy decided to go with her boyfriend. I went with my dad. I ended up in a high-speed chase.
You went with your dad?
Yes.
Did your father say, where did you get the car from?
My father called the police on me.
And is that when you got into the high-speed chase?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where you were finally apprehended?
No, I was caught at Miss Canfield's house 3 days later.
I see. So you beat the police in the chase?
Yes, and I went to a phone and called Lisa and asked her to come get me.
I see. So in this high-speed chase, you lost them at the border of New Hampshire.
Nope, they followed me all the way to Dover. They were right behind me. We just jumped out of the car, and because it was the town that I lived in, we knew it, and the police officer didn't, so we all just
Who's
ran.
the we? All.
There was me, Randy, Nicole, and Brittany in the car.
Where'd you get them from?
Lisa's house.
No, they weren't at my house.
Where did you meet them?
Nicole is my best friend. I've known her since I was 12. And
Does she have any psychiatric problems?
No.
Huh?
No, ma'am.
So she's not bipolar?
No, she's not.
And who else?
Not yet.
I met Randy at Miss Canfield's house.
So how long do you know Randy?
I knew him for like 2 weeks.
He's not bipolar, is he?
He's not. I don't know if he's bipolar.
You don't think you're nuts, do you?
I was. Not no more.
Oh, good. Maybe it was the 5.5 months you spent in the juvenile facility.
Yeah.
When you were in the juvenile facility, I'm really curious about this. Were you on medication?
Yes.
How often?
I took 900 milligrams of lithium once a day.
And now?
Same thing. It's court ordered for me to take it.
You staying closer to home these days?
I live with my mom now.
I asked you if you're staying closer to home.
Yes.
You doing anything like going to school?
I recently enrolled back in high school, and I participate in community service at youth resources. In
Not
Denver.
voluntarily, I assume.
Yes, voluntarily.
What happened as a result of stealing the van and stealing the money?
I got a $650 fine, and I spent 5 months and 3 days in the youth detention center.
Oh, well, that's an eye-opener. Did you like it?
No, I didn't.
I assume not. And I assume that you would prefer not to go back there.
No, never.
No, never. You know what the youth detention facility is like after spending 5 months there?
Yes, I do.
Paradise compared to adult jail. Paradise. Miss Canfield, did there ever come a time when your daughter and Amber came to your house and had a couple of cars with them?
When
The answer is either yes or no.
I was at work, so I'm trying to answer you the best I can. I know the car, one of the cars was there because it drove over my septic system, and I saw where it drove over when I got home.
What kind of car was it?
I have no idea.
Was it a new car or an old car?
It was new.
New car?
Yes.
Didn't you ask about it?
Well, it wasn't at my house when I got home. I just know there had been a car at my home because it drove over the back lawn.
Didn't you ask about it?
Yes.
And what did your daughter tell you?
She said they had taken a car, and I told them to take it back.
Did you call the police?
No, I did not.
Look, your problem, Miss Canfield, in all of this is that I gather from the papers that you either were found guilty or pled guilty in the criminal court to somehow interfering with the plaintiff's custody of her daughter. Is that true?
In order to get the deal, I had to plead guilty to all charges.
There you go. So you pled guilty?
Yes, I did.
Ms. Canfield, as I indicated to you before, even if I didn't find that you were responsible in any way for this young lady's antics, you already acknowledged that you were responsible for this young lady's antics, at least partially responsible by your guilty plea in the criminal court.
Well,
I think that her mother is more responsible than she's willing to acknowledge in not making sure where her daughter was.
Ma'am, I take responsibility for what?
Good. Well, then you're suing the
in my
plaintiff for $5,000. That includes your emotional distress, part of which you're responsible for.
Yes, ma'am.
And the fines. So I think so far she's responsible for all the fines, and you're responsible for your own emotional distress. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $650. That's it.
Yeah, this is case number 223 on the calendar in the matter of Laverty versus Burroughs. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Laverty, it is your claim, sir, that the defendant filed false charges against you.
Yes.
False charges in a road rage type incident.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Burroughs says that the charges he filed were, in fact, true, and is counterclaiming for damages that he alleges were caused when you broke or cracked his windshield during this incident. What time of the day did this incident start?
About 12:30.
On what date?
November 20th, 2001.
And what kind of vehicle were you driving, Mr. Laverty?
A 97 Dodge Ram truck.
And you, sir?
A 98 Toyota Tacoma pickup truck.
Where were you going, Mr. Laverty?
I was on my way to the gym.
And you?
On my way to work.
When did you first notice the plaintiff?
A little past the 101-170 interchange.
And where were you in relation to the plaintiff?
I was in the left lane.
Because you were the complainant in this case, right?
Originally in the criminal complaint, yes.
Go ahead.
I was in the left lane of the 101 freeway southbound.
You were in the passing lane?
Correct.
And where was Mr. Laverty?
He came up behind me in the same lane.
So he wanted you to move over so that...
He was flashing his high beams and he was at a pretty high rate of speed.
So he wanted you to move over?
I attempted to oblige.
What do you mean you attempted to oblige?
I turned on my right signal and began to move over into the number 2 lane, at which point he accelerated around me, honking his horn, and pulled back into the number 1 lane of traffic.
Okay, what happened next?
He locked his brakes up in a big cloud of smoke until we were all stopped. Pretty much all the other cars, the freeway came to a stop.
You were able to stop?
I was able to stop and not hit him. As soon as he passed me and pulled back in the lane, I realized I had better slow down, so I began slowing down. He was traveling faster than me and had a much heavier vehicle, so he was quite a bit distance up the road past me.
And everybody else was able to stop too?
Well, at least the 1, 2, and 3 lanes, everybody pretty much stopped, and we kind of looked at each other like, what do we do? At that point, I saw the reverse lights come on in the pickup truck, and he started reversing, which made me pretty nervous. I got eye contact with the cars in the other lane, and I was able to pull off to the shoulder without too much trouble.
What happened next?
He did the same. He pulled over to the far right emergency lane.
Okay. Go ahead.
But quite a ways up, at which point he started reversing up the right emergency shoulder. At that point, I realized that this was not going to dissipate, so I called the CHP.
Okay. And then what happened?
He started getting closer to my vehicle, at which point...
Try looking at me all the time.
Okay. He started getting closer to my vehicle, at which point I saw the brake lights come on. I pulled back into traffic, at which point I was talking to the 911 operator, and I proceeded southbound on the 101, and he finally caught up to me. at which point I really couldn't see him. I could feel the energy, and I heard a pretty loud thud against the side of my truck. He then sped off, and I kind of lost sight of him for a little while. And then when I get off at the exit at Cahuenga, he's there. And I guess the 911 operator said, "Can you see the license plate number?" I said yes. I blurted the license plate number to the operator, at which point Mr. Laverty, got out of his truck with a cat's paw nail prying tool, which I reported to the 911 operator, and then I sped away and pulled back onto the freeway, at which point I was talking to the 911 operator, who said they transferred me to the LAPD at that point, and they told me to go to the Wilcox Hollywood Police Department to fill out the report.
And that's what happened?
Yes. As I was leaving the crossing Cahuenga, I was driving away, and he threw a metal object. I don't know what the metal object was, and I went back to look to see if I could find it, and it was not there. A small silver lug nut or socket, which hit the windshield and cracked it.
How come you left that out?
At
How
which
come you
point-
left it out of your narrative, Mr. Burroughs? It's sort of interesting that that's formed the basis, really, of your complaint against him, and you told me the whole story. You left that out of the narrative.
Well,
That's interesting.
Well, okay.
Just a minute. All right, Mr. Laverty, now I want you to tell me your version of the events, please.
All right. I was traveling southbound on the 170 freeway, where the 101 interchange is. There was a problem at the Vineland exit. Mr. Burroughs was in that traffic jam. Our lanes on the 170 were completely free. I was doing about 65, 70 miles an hour.
What do you mean, your lanes? You mean the left lane, the passing lane?
Yeah, there's two lanes on the 170 that merge with the 101. I was in the fast lane. To the left of me was a carpool lane. To the right, the slow lane. He crossed the double white lines from a dead stop, crossed over the slow lane, went into the fast lane directly in front of me. I had to slam on my brakes to avoid hitting him. As I'm slamming on my brakes, he starts punching his brake pedal, giving me the bird, yelling in his rear view mirror.
You don't hear him yelling, you just see something, right?
No, I hear him.
could you hear
His
him?
window's open. Well, I guess
How
not
could
hearing
you?
him, but he's looking in the rear
Mr.
view.
Laverty, I've been around probably longer than you have, and there's a certain common sense. If you're driving 65 miles an hour and somebody is in front of you, you don't hear them if they're yelling at you in their rearview mirror. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay.
I didn't hear him.
You didn't hear him.
I saw him
You
yelling.
saw him mouth.
That's what I was.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Anyhow, I tried passing to the right. He cut me off, still hitting his brakes. I tried passing to the left. He sprayed windshield wiper fluid on my car.
How did that happen?
I guess he hit his windshield wiper dearly.
As he was passing you?
No. He's cutting me off to the left. I'm behind him again.
Right.
Then he sprayed the windshield wiper fluid on me.
Maybe his windshield was dirty. Or maybe it was cracked. Who knows? Go ahead.
He's a giggler.
Right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Anyhow, I tried to pass to the right. He threw batteries, or what looked to be batteries, out of his car window at my car. I pulled away from him. He pulled over behind me. I came to a stop. He pulled back into traffic.
Now, you were going to the gym.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is your gym?
On Cole Street.
Cole Street.
It's
And what exit do you get off to go to the
Cahuenga.
gym? Cahuenga.
Yeah.
And where do you work?
I work at the Film Institute.
And what exit do you get off at?
I get off at the Vineland, the Argyle.
Argyle.
It's the one right past Cahuenga.
But you got off at Cahuenga.
That's correct.
Don't tell me because anything. You actually followed him off.
That's
the
correct.
exit.
Can I explain?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't know how his windshield got broken. Crowbar, lug nut, a pair of stockings, a pair of underpants. I don't know what broke his windshield.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Scott Laverty says he had phony assault charges filed against him by Shannon Burroughs. Shannon says Scott is a maniac.
Go ahead.
I turned right at the end of the off-ramp. He appeared out of nowhere, just like a bat out of it. Anyway, he just appeared real quick. I saw him in my rearview mirror, revving up to me, hitting his brake, revving up, hitting his brake, like he's going to hit me. So I get to the end of the off-ramp, I turn right, about 20 yards, I pull over, he pulls behind me, then does a U-turn, gets right back on the freeway. That is the end of the story. Not the lies, just the story.
And after the trial, you were found not guilty.
Of all the counts.
I would like to see what you have of the police report, please.
I have a 911 tape as evidence.
Oh, I'd like to hear the 911 tape.
I'm sure you will.
What?
The actual... Sorry. I won't do it again.
Berg, would you take the 911 tape, please, and bring it up here? Because I can never hear from over there. I assume that that's keyed up to the right place?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear it.
What is wrong with this guy? He's doing like 100 miles an hour now. I couldn't get it paid. What is going on? I couldn't smoke. What's your name? My name is sheindlin, B-U-R-O-U-G-H-S. Okay, we're going to broadcast information, okay? Should I try to get it put in here? No, it might be too dangerous. We're going to broadcast it, okay? Don't worry about it. Okay. I've got 5 L8. Okay. And, is it about you? Yeah, it should be across the street. Just do a quick report in the car. Time? 911, where's that by 659? 5SP, speed transfer. Hi. Give me the address of where you're calling from or what and what's going on. A guy on the freeway threw several objects in my car, pulled in front of me, slamming on his brakes. I did nothing to smoke him. And what's the address? It's Hollywood, I would say Vine and Yucca. On the street, sir? Yeah, and he's damaged my vehicle, so I need to follow this up. Okay, sir, did he throw these objects at you on the freeway? Oh, it's on the freeway and on the surface street. So he started on the freeway throwing stuff at you? Oh, that's right, and he cracked my windshield. Okay, how long ago did he tell me? Of course, it's probably about 10 minutes. Yeah, it's about 10 minutes ago. I had to literally go through a red light and go around a big U-turn because this guy was throwing crowbars, or what appeared to be a crowbar at my truck, and broke my windshield. Okay, did you want to make a report over the phone? What do you think I should do? I mean, I need to recoup my loss here because I know for a fact that this windshield is about $500.
Mr. Burrows, you told the police what was happening. You asked the police whether you should follow Mr. Laverty and get his plate number. They tell you not to do that. You decide to do it anyway. So clearly you felt as if you were not in any danger because you did follow him off the freeway. You got off at his exit, came up against him quickly, and while you originally told me that what cracked your windshield was a small lug nut, perhaps you couldn't see it, but a small lug nut, you clearly told the police that what broke your windshield was a crowbar that he had thrown at your car.
That's right.
Which is probably why the case was dismissed against Mr. Lafferty, because your testimony was so inconsistent. You say in your answer, Mr. Burrows, that he's lucky he got off on a technicality. That's not a technicality. You're the only witness to this event. And when the only witness to this event gives false or inconsistent statements in order to buttress their version of the events, the person who has to decide the case, in that case a criminal case, says, I can't believe him. I can't convict somebody beyond a reasonable doubt with all this inconsistent testimony. Go ahead.
When I had blurted out that it was the crowbar, I was on the 911 call. I was full of adrenaline, and the only thing that I had originally seen in his hand was the cat's paw, which is a small crowbar. But when my blood pressure came down a little bit and I thought about it, I remember seeing a small silver object coming at my truck. That's when I heard the impact. So you're right. I was under duress, and I did say crowbar because that's the only thing I had seen at the time.
You weren't under duress, sir. You both of you guys driving around in your pickups had a little bit too much adrenaline flowing that day. You, Mr. Laverty, were probably going a little too fast.
I was doing about 65. I was going with the flow of traffic.
Oh. And Mr. Burroughs, I don't know, maybe he didn't like the fact that your truck was bigger than his. I have no idea what it was.
I'm sorry, but
I have no idea what it was, Mr. Lafferty, but I want to ask you this question. First of all, I'm dismissing his counterclaim. He's got a counterclaim for his broken windshield. I don't know how his windshield got broken. Crowbar, lug nut, a pair of stockings, a pair of underpants. I don't know what broke his windshield. Clearly, I cannot make a determination that it was anything that came out of your hand or out of your truck. You have a complaint against him. Your complaint is one for having you falsely arrested. And what I want, you look like a relatively reasonable person. Is there anything that you could have done that day to prevent any interaction with Mr. Burroughs?
No, I tried. I pulled over to let him pass. I got off on my exit after he had passed. He was behind me. I did everything I could. The crack on that windshield is a little tiny line. The original Polaroids were the property of the city attorney's office. They handed them to the jury. You literally couldn't see the crack. The picture of the crack in the report you have right there is blown up about 4 or 5 times. Do you think if I threw this at his windshield?
That is not
We're not
all.
done. We're not. It's not you.
Oh, okay.
Or even a lug nut that maybe weighs 4 or 5 ounces. There would be an impact point. I threw nothing at his windshield.
Let me tell you something. There is no question in my mind that he acted inappropriately that day. I just wanted to know, from your perspective, was there anything that you could have done? Let's say you were shy, timid, little old lady driving around in a station wagon instead of a big guy driving around in a pickup truck.
All right.
With somebody else in the left lane, they're in the left lane, jockeying for position.
All right.
Is there anything that you think that little old lady could have done to get away from him so that this whole thing wouldn't have happened?
She probably would have had a heart attack.
Mr. Laverty, what I find most persuasive about your arguments are, quite frankly, is you got off at your exit and he didn't. You got off at your exit to go to your gym, to take care of the rest of your business, what you were going to do, and this gentleman here did absolutely nothing but continue the provocation. And quite frankly, I cannot, in my mind's eye, see the 101 freeway, is that what they're talking about here? The 101 freeway, all 3 lanes coming to a complete stop and everybody looking at each other. What do we do now?
They were talking about a pile of smoke. It was a cloud of smoke.
Anti-lock brakes. My brakes don't skid. My wheels don't.
So not true.
Just a second. I cannot imagine, unless every news channel around would have a picture of that, the lanes of traffic on the 101 coming to a complete stop because of some guys playing around in their trucks.
And then I'm going to go backwards with 70-mile-an-hour people coming out.
Exactly the point why I called 911, because it was obviously someone out of control.
You were.
No, I think Mr. Burroughs.
Mr.
Burroughs.
Way out of control.
Don't push. Mr. Burroughs, I think that from your perspective, you thought that he was driving inappropriately.
I just wanted to get out of his way.
No.
You hopped in my way.
That's just not true.
It is true.
It's just not
Mr.
true.
Laverty,
I mean, you're saying
you
that
just
I was
lost
in
your
stop
case.
traffic?
I want to tell you something. You just lost your case. You want to know why you lost your case?
How?
Because you have a bad temper. You can't even be quiet when I tell you to be quiet. And you keep saying, I'm sorry. That doesn't cut it. That doesn't cut it. You have to be able to control your temper under all circumstances. He didn't do the right thing. If he's got a broken windshield, he's going to take care of it himself. Now,
Which I did.
Which you did, and he's not going to.
He's not going to have to pay for it.
Oh, he sure is not going to have to pay you for it. But I certainly am not going to issue a judgment in your favor, Mr. Laverty. I think that you both probably acted a little inappropriately that day, and I think that if you had it to do all over again, perhaps you know that you lost a great deal of time defending these charges. He lost a great deal of time being involved with this. Plus, do you work?
Yes, full time.
What kind of work do you do?
I do technical direction.
Full time. And you?
I do voiceover work.
Okay. So you both work. You don't work full time. That I know. You work part time when the jobs come up.
I haven't said whether I do or not. So how would you know that?
If you're doing voiceover work, that usually doesn't mean that it's a 9-to-5 job Monday through Friday.
I'm still trying to figure out why he interrupted me and I get yelled at.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
I am.
I don't understand it.
Very easy. Case is dismissed. That's all.
Case number 2.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Edwards versus Douglas. Step forward, please.
Regulatory analyst Tanya Edwards is suing her ex-boyfriend, financial analyst Benjamin Douglas, for the cost of furniture. Tanya says she's paying for items that are in his possession.
Miss Edwards, you claim loans to the defendant for some furniture. And what I gather happened is there was a time that you and the defendant were living together. Is that right?
That's correct.
You also have a child together.
That's correct.
And this furniture was some living room furniture and also some furniture for his son from another relationship.
That's correct.
Is that right?
No,
Is that the furniture?
No, ma'am.
What kind of furniture are we talking about, sir?
We're just talking about regular furniture I have.
Regular furniture, as opposed to irregular furniture.
Well,
what furniture? So, living room furniture was purchased on her credit card,
correct.
and bedroom furniture for your son
Correct.
was purchased on her credit card.
Correct.
I knew I would get it down to simple English so that we could all understand each other. In what month and year was the furniture purchased, madam?
May 2001.
And when did you leave his residence?
I left his residence in January 2001.
You mean you left his residence before you bought the furniture?
That's correct.
Why did you buy it?
Because at that time we were still together, but we decided to live in different households. I purchased my home, and he decided to live at his own home. At his own home.
But you were going to move back together, and you did for a while.
No, we did not. We never moved back then together.
That was our second time being together. We had previously been together, but I was under the impression that this was going to be a joint venture together with the purchase of this furniture.
So she bought the furniture when she wasn't living with you, is that right?
Correct.
On her credit card.
Correct.
Oh, that makes this case so much easier. You had a relationship, you have a child together. She purchased the furniture on her credit card, put it in your house where you were living alone, not with her.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now you're not together anymore, either living together or not living together, but you're not a couple anymore. Is that right?
That would be correct.
That's correct.
That would be correct. And who has the furniture?
I do.
And who's paying for the furniture?
I am.
No, 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 no. No, no, no. That doesn't sound fair to me, Mr. Douglas. Under any circumstances that you have the furniture that she's paying for. Does that sound fair to you?
I mean, no, Your Honor, it doesn't sound.
Good. Look how wonderful this is. What an easy case.
I mean, it doesn't sound fair, but at the same time, I don't feel like the primary cost I should be liable for all of the costs.
Who's sitting on the furniture?
I mean, my butt is sitting on furniture.
That's right. Who's sleeping in your son's bed?
My son.
Who should pay for that? Her? Every month?
No, I mean, I'm not saying that she's liable for all of the charges. I'm just saying that with the intent of us being together, I was under the impression that it was going to be a joint venture.
But it's not anymore. That's your impression, but it didn't happen, sir. So what you could have done is you could have done several things. Let's say that was your intention. And let's say that was the intention of both of you. But it didn't work out, so that you can sell the furniture and say, look, let's pay off as much as we can on this credit card debt. Let's see if we can pay it off. Or if you want the furniture, you can keep the furniture. You take over the credit card bills. But why should she pay the bills and you have the furniture?
I mean, I was in the assumption, like I said, Your Honor, that it was going
I heard it. Don't repeat yourself. I heard it. I mean, doesn't it sound stupid to you? You have the furniture. Your keister is sitting on it watching television. Your son is sleeping on it like a baby. And she's paying the bill. Doesn't that sound ridiculous? It sounds ridiculous to me. Does it sound ridiculous to you?
No.
What?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to Bert. And he might, and I want to tell you something, he doesn't always agree with me. Sometimes he would say, no, you know, the man's got a point.
I mean, you can agree with me. I mean.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,700. That's all.
Yeah, this is.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Charles versus Wooden. Step forward, please.
Production worker Phyllis Charles is suing her former friend, auto detailer Samuel Trell Wooden, for an unpaid loan for $1,000. Trell says Phyllis is lying.
Miss Charles, it's your claim that you made a loan to the defendant in the amount of $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant says he never borrowed any money from you. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what all that junk is?
This here is this outfit that he bought, and we bought an amp from him because he said he was doing so bad.
Put it over there.
Thank you.
What did you make the loan for?
Well, he said that him and his girlfriend and his baby was going to be evicted.
Was he a friend of yours?
Yeah, we grew up in the same neighborhood.
Go ahead.
And after he told me that, you know, I was like, okay. And then my boyfriend said, well, you know, go on and loan the money. I said I would. He had a story like he needed $500 for his rent. He was going to move, which is why I didn't question it.
Does any of this sound right to you, sir?
I don't know what she's talking about, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Well, that's what he told me in my house.
Was anybody else there?
My boyfriend was.
Step up here. Tell me your last name, sir.
Washington.
Mr. Washington, do you know the defendant?
Yes, I do.
How long have you known him?
A long time. Almost 20 years.
Well, do you remember this conversation in the house about money?
Yes, I do.
Well, look at me when you talk. Don't look at her. Tell me about when that happened.
Well, I think it was like in March that he had came to us and he was like stating the fact that he had needed some money for his rent. And at the present time, they were going to be evicted. Now, all of us is good friends, so it wasn't really no problem about the money itself. And so shortly after that, there, you know, he came and he took us to the bank. We got the money out the bank and she gave it to him.
How much money did you loan him?
$1,000.
Let me see proof that you loaned him $1,000.
I have that where I drew $2,000 out March 1st.
Why did you take out $2,000?
Well, the other $1,000 was for me. I bought furniture, I bought a entertainment center, and I paid some bills and stuff. That's it.
Is this a checking account?
Savings.
Now, did he give you any of the money back?
$100. I ran it off, and I put when he gave it to me.
Let me see. Now you can explain to me about all that stuff is that you bought,
Okay,
because maybe it has a reason in this case.
Yeah, maybe it does.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Phyllis Charles says former friend Samuel Trell Wooden owes for a $1,000 loan. Trell claims Phyllis never gave him any money.
Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, he did come to the house, okay? And then about the end of April, I'll say.
After you had loaned him the money?
Yeah, after I loaned him the money.
Yeah.
He called my house. He wanted him to come and pick him up from Pet Boys. When he picked him up from Pet Boys, he came back with a bag with this outfit. And then I had him to call. And I said, why did, we call him Trail. I said, why Trail gave you, you know, the outfit instead of sending me my money? So he said, no, you calling, you asking. So I asked Trail, you know, you bought him an outfit and you didn't send me my money. Then all of a sudden I heard the phone just drop or hang up. So he called back. I don't know what was discussed between them on the phone.
Well, what happened when you called back?
No, he was like this, basically saying, you know, man, why is your woman, you know, calling my house with all that, you know, BS and stuff, man? I ain't with that. Won't you just tell that was like this gift, you know, because
I don't understand the word you just said to me.
A gift.
I want to know what was the discussion that you had with him after your fiancée
when
gave
she
you
called,
a hard time.
When I called back, right, and he got back on the telephone, I told him, you know what I'm saying, man, what's happening? He said, man, look at him. Don't have your woman calling my house with all that bullshit. That's what he said. And so I was like, well, man, the girl want her money. You know, she hot about the amount about the money. You know what I'm saying? We bought the outfit, and I already knew it was going to happen like that, though. So then me and him, we felt went to talking about the issue. Then that was it. That was the end of the conversation.
All right. Did you have that conversation with Mr. Washington? No, listen to me. I want you to remember the conversation that you had with Mr. Washington. Did you speak to him about having his fiancée call your house?
I did speak with him about that.
And you told him to stop having her call the house?
That's right.
And she was calling the house about what, Mr. Wooden?
That I don't know. It's just something she just come up with. You know what I'm saying? Calling my house, talking about some money that I borrowed from her. Number one, Your Honor, I don't have to borrow no money from them because most of the time I wind up, you know, like he going to jail, I'm borrowing him out of jail. If she got $1,000 to give to me, why she can't go bond him out of jail?
All right, you had a conversation with Mr. Washington. Do you remember hanging up on the plaintiff?
That's right, I remember that.
Because she was bothering you about money.
That's right.
And you've known her for how long?
24, 25 years. I've been knowing her for a long time.
For a long time. So now she's calling your house and bothering you about money that she says you borrowed from her, that you owe her. Is that
yes,
right?
That's what she's saying.
That's what she said? Mm-hmm. Now, in the 24, 25 years that you've known the plaintiff, have you ever known her to be psychiatrically hospitalized?
Yes.
How many times was she in a psychiatric hospital?
To be honest with you, I really couldn't tell you because I'm so used to being incarcerated. So I couldn't tell you.
Mr. Wooden, listen to me very carefully, sir. Do you know what I mean by psychiatrically hospitalized? In the hospital because you're nuts.
She is.
Shh. Have you ever been psychiatrically
No,
hospitalized?
ma'am.
Of course not.
No, ma'am.
Of course not. So she's not crazy.
Thank you.
So, Miss Charles, you've seen my courtroom before?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
So you know a few things. You know what I always say. If you're going to make a loan to somebody, you put it in what?
Writing.
Right! And you didn't do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? So that
Yes,
was a big
ma'am.
mistake.
Right.
So you didn't learn really well.
Right.
So now you put me in the position of having to make a decision as to whether or not you loaned him money, because he doesn't say it was a gift, he doesn't say it was a payback.
Yes, ma'am.
He says, she never gave me any money, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's why we put things in writing when we make a loan.
Right.
Because now I have to decide whether or not Mr. Wooden is a liar.
Right.
Or you're a liar.
Right.
Now, Mr. Wooden,
Yes, ma'am.
this lady you've known for 25 years, and she's not crazy.
She is crazy.
Shh, no, no, no.
About my money,
No, no, no.
yes.
She's not crazy. What she is angry.
For what?
Because you borrowed money from her, sir.
Nah.
Yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did. There isn't a reason in the world that I can think of, unless you can tell me the reason, why this lady who's known you for 24 years, or her fiancé who's known you for 20 years, would concoct this story about $1,000. She could have said, I lent him $2,000 because she withdrew $2,000 from her bank. She didn't say I lent him $2,000. She said she lent you $1,000. And he was a witness. And she kept calling you on the telephone to say, where's my money? And then, and this you verify, she got angry when you went and bought the fiancé an outfit. She called you again. Why are you buying him an outfit if you owe me money? Give me the $25 or the $30 that you spent on his outfit. What are you giving it to him for? And then you hung up on her. And then he called you back, and you said he called you back. You see, little pieces sometimes make the truth. So you owe her $900 because you already paid her back $100. Judgment for the plaintiff. Put it in writing.
I will next time.
That's all.
Your Honors.
Entering a judgment for that. $5,000 for the plaintiff. That's all. Step back.
Your Honors, this is case number 184 on the calendar in the matter of Brooks versus Stout.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Brooks, these are your two sons? And you're here only because they're minors.
Yes, ma'am.
You weren't present during this incident, is that
No.
right?
No.
Why don't you have a seat? And this is your son?
Yes.
And you're here because he's a minor?
Correct.
And you weren't there during the course of this incident,
Correct.
even though if I find in the plaintiff's favor, you're going to have to pay the judgment. But you weren't there. So why don't you have a seat?
Thank you.
Now I have before me the idiots. So you're in one car and you're in another car.
No. I stayed on the side of the road.
Tell me what happened, Justin.
We was driving around the square.
Listen to me. How old are you?
16.
Do you go to school?
Yes, I do.
You were driving around.
We were driving around the loop, and we was at a stop sign, and a truck...
You were at a stop sign.
Yes. And a truck was in front of me, and a truck was behind me, and they blocked me, and I couldn't move. And, like, 6 or 7 girls came up kicking out my car, and I couldn't move or anything. And then all of a sudden I see Tyson running up to my car, and...
How many people were in your car?
It was me, Dustin, and my ex-girlfriend.
Now, did you know these people in the trucks that were blocking you?
No, I don't.
Where had you been that evening?
I was at my girlfriend's house because that was her birthday.
So did she have a party?
No, it was just...
You were?
We...
Just?
Yes. I guess.
Go ahead.
Well, it wasn't actually a party. It was just hanging out at her house, and we decided to go cruising, so we went up cruising.
What's cruising?
Well, cruising the loop, like driving around listening
Cruising
to music.
the what?
Loop.
Cruising the loop.
Yeah.
What is your version of having fun?
Listening to music and talking to people on the square. That's when that accident happened.
What accident?
That when we got pretty much jumped.
So far, what you've told me is a bunch of girls came up to your car and started to kick the car.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Let's pick it up from there.
Well, he kicked out the window.
But I thought the girls were kicking the car.
Well, they were, and then he ran up to the car, kicked the window out, and then...
Which window?
It was a passenger right window.
Pretty high kick.
Yeah.
You kicked the window out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and then what happened?
And then Dustin was getting out of the car to run, and then Tyson cut his arm.
How did Tyson cut his arm?
I didn't see it because I was...
You didn't see it?
I was driving, so...
You didn't see it? Is that right?
That's right.
So then we go to Dustin.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you twins?
Yes, ma'am.
You always dress alike?
No, ma'am.
Did you do that especially for me today?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you thought it would confuse me?
No, ma'am.
You're Dustin.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what happened to you.
When I was getting out...
What were you getting out for?
To run, because there were so many kids around, I ain't sticking around.
Just a minute, how many kids were around?
Probably 15.
What were they doing around your car?
Actually, I don't know. They don't like me.
Dustin, something tells me something happened before that, Dustin.
Actually, there was nothing happened. They don't like us because in the past there was the girls.
Who's we?
Me and Justin. The girls that they was going out with their boyfriends and everything. They didn't like us, and
I want you to, at all times when you're testifying, I want you to look in my eyes.
Yes, ma'am.
So the girls didn't like you because they were going out with their boyfriends and blah, 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 blah. I didn't get anything after that. That made sense.
Because we get in fights with them because they don't like us, okay? So
you get in fights with the girls or the boys?
The boys. And so the women hates us for that.
So the girls hate you?
Yes.
Why do you get in fights with the boys, Dustin?
Because I don't know how to read and they pick on me and I ain't taking nobody's crap. It's and that's the reason.
And so, because of that, you think that these people don't like you. You don't say anything to them.
No.
You never start up with them.
No.
Does your brother know how to read?
No.
Is there any reason?
Yeah, I don't know. I think.
What do you mean you don't know? Do you go for special tutoring?
Yes.
For how long?
For how long? Since we was in kindergarten.
Do you go to school every day?
Yes, ma'am.
Every day?
Not every day, no.
Dustin, don't throw the bull at me. Because if you can drive a car, I assume you have a license, you had to take a test. You had to take, as part of the test, a written test.
We didn't take a written test, ma'am.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
How come?
Because we don't know how to read.
So they allowed you to drive a car without knowing how to read. Stop, go, hazard ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
What state is that?
It's Iowa.
I'm staying out of there. How often do you go to school? Once a week, maybe?
No, ma'am. The reason why we go probably once a week is because we don't get taught nothing, because they didn't teach us timetables or multiplication tables or anything like that.
So now you stay home and cruise?
No, I don't cruise anymore.
So tell me what happened, Dustin, after you were going to get out of the car and run.
Well, I put my left arm up on...
Watch, right here.
I put my left arm up on the door, and I was looking down to push myself up out of the car, and Tyson come up and cut my arm, and I look at him, I see the knife in his hand, and he took off running with everybody else took off running, and Justin tells me to get back in the car, sit down. By then the truck was in front of us, was gone. We took off, went to the hospital.
You went to the hospital?
I got 5 stitches, and there's pictures and stuff like that my mom has.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
One of my friends told me because he was going out with one of the girls at the time that they liked. They've threatened to kill his baby before.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 16-year-olds Justin and Dustin Brooks claim 17-year-old Tyson Stout attacked them with a knife. Tyson says the twins threatened to kill his friend's baby.
Now, were you charged with assault?
No, ma'am.
What were you charged with?
Burglary in the 2nd degree.
Burglary?
Forcing entry into an occupied structure.
Tyson, I want you to tell me, and I want you to be very careful, Tyson, because, you know, I already got their story. I want you to tell me your version. By the way, you go to school in Iowa?
I don't go to school. I got my GED. I'm starting college in February.
Does anybody ever finish high school in your jurisdiction?
No.
No. All right. Tell me what you were doing standing on the side of the road and what was going on at the side of the road where these guys were cruising.
Me and some friends were just staying around.
Listen, you're starting college next year?
Yeah. Some friends and I.
Yeah.
We're standing around talking, having fun, and then these two, they just keep on driving around mouthing and
Mouthing what?
just calling us names and
Like
running
what?
old stuff like that. The F word,
And how many times did they drive around?
probably 2 or 3.
Any of that sound familiar to you? Justin and Dustin?
No, because
Go ahead.
Then about the third time they pulled around, we had a car, not a truck, stop them. And one of my friends told me, sticking up for one of my friends, one of them told me that they've threatened to kill his baby before because that he was going out with one of the girls at the time that they liked, and she had a baby. And he told me that.
How old was this genius?
At 18.
Go ahead.
I was going to go up and say something to him. He rolled up the window real quick, got mad, kicked the car door.
You went up to the car because you were really mad because a friend of yours told you that somebody disrespected somebody.
Threatened
who
his family.
Threatened his baby.
Yeah.
So that you went up to the car to confront them, which was very
Wrong.
stupid.
Yeah.
And then he did the smart thing. He rolled up the window
Yes.
because he had been doing a very stupid thing, cruising around and calling people names and, you know, just being a general tweedledum and tweedledee, being two idiots, right?
Yes.
Because I expect the truth from you. I really expect the whole truth from you. From them, I didn't get the truth so far. All I got from them was they were just driving around being very mild young men because they suffer from a handicap, because they can't read, because they have a disability, because despite the fact that they go to school every day and try very, very hard to learn, they can't learn to read, right?
Yep.
So I expect the truth from you. Now, you went up to the car, and how many times did you kick the car?
Once.
And when you kicked the car once, did you break the window?
Yes.
What happened next?
I ran to a friend's car, got in the car, and left.
Did you at any time cut Dustin with a knife?
No, ma'am.
Were you ever charged with cutting him with a knife?
No, ma'am.
Anybody have a police report?
Your Honor, I went to get a police report, but they couldn't release it because he was a juvenile.
Nobody has a police report.
I couldn't get one.
Now, you were found guilty of whatever, of vandalizing the car, which you did kick
Burglary.
at least once. Burglary.
Yes.
Was this the first time you were convicted of anything, or have you been convicted of something before?
Had a possession of alcohol charge before and assault causing injury before.
Assaulting whom?
A kid is picking on my little sister.
And what did you do to him?
Put him in a headlock, slammed him into the locker.
Tyson, you got to learn to control yourself.
I have.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Well, you haven't. At least you didn't on that evening, because you went up to the car for no reason. This fight didn't concern you at all.
No.
And you went up there and kicked their car. Now, according to you, Justin, there were a lot of girls around there who were kicking your car.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you charge any of them?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because I was not going to get out of my car because there was too many of them, and I'm not going to get out of my car to hit a girl.
I didn't ask you why you didn't hit him. I asked you why you didn't tell the police that there were a lot of people there kicking your car, making dents in your car before he came.
We did.
To the
I did,
car.
ma'am.
Did you have damage to your car?
Not by the girls.
How do you know that?
Because I live on a gravel road with and I had a lot of dust on my car, and there was no dents or anything.
So the only damage that was done to your car was him knocking the window out of your car.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
And when I was trying to get out of the car, I accidentally put my foot through, like, where my speaker was, because my foot got caught.
What were you trying to get out of the car for?
Because I was going to run.
15 people around you and you were going to run? Or were you going to fight them?
I was going to run.
Have you ever been arrested before?
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
Fighting.
There's no such crime in the penal law as fighting.
Assault.
There's assault in the penal law. And you?
Same thing.
Assault.
Yes.
How many times, Justin, have you been arrested for assault?
Numerous times.
And you, Dustin?
Same thing.
How many times have you been found guilty of assault?
Every time. Because I committed to him.
What do you mean you committed to him?
I said
guilty.
I told him that I did it. I didn't lie about it.
But you don't learn. Can I see the paperwork on the order of conviction for burglary and any other paperwork that you have with regard to a court order by a judge? Moms, you can stand up now. I want to see it. Tyson, how come you lied initially?
So I didn't want to get in trouble for it.
Who did you lie to? Police?
My JCO,
What's JCO?
juvenile court officer.
And when you lied to the juvenile court officer initially, Tyson, did you lie to him the same kind of face that you're lying to me?
No.
I want you to show me your lying face.
Grin.
What?
I have a grin on my face when I lie.
Really? I believe you when you lied to him initially, right?
Yep.
It's just sometimes hard to figure out who's lying and who's not.
Yep.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Ah, right. Because the first time you spoke to your juvenile officer, you told me you didn't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. Well, after you had this problem in 1999, Tyson, you were expelled from school for another problem with another student. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Got a bad temper?
Yep.
Now I'd like to see the paperwork you have as a result of this incident.
I just got medical bills here.
So you didn't turn it into your insurance?
The hospital didn't turn it in, no.
I'm surprised. Why not?
That I have no idea. They didn't turn it in. The insurance cards was there, but they never turn it in.
Well, they will. They will. They should. And your boys are covered?
They're covered.
Mm-hmm. Now I'd like you to come up here, Dustin, because I want to take a look at your arm.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the scar?
Yeah, big one right there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tyson, I have to make a judgment whether or not you actually cut Dustin with a knife. And it is my belief that you did. Because when somebody is injured like that, and there's no question, I've read the hospital records, and there's no question he had a laceration, there's no question that he had sutures. When that happens, you want the person who is responsible to be prosecuted. Now, you were, in fact, charged with assault with a weapon. The fact that you pled guilty to cover all the charges and the rest of the charges were dismissed doesn't mean that you were found not guilty of those charges. It means that you pled. It means that you pled out.
Plea bargain.
That's right. Look how smart you're getting. You also have a temper. Now, these two idiots were driving around, and their mother knows that they were driving around doing the wrong thing, right?
Well, yeah.
They were doing the wrong thing, but that doesn't give you license to take out even a pocket knife, which is what you took out, and cut him. It doesn't give you license to do that. You're lucky. You're lucky that they let you get away with it.
But I didn't stab him, ma'am.
Yes, you did. You stabbed him. You didn't stab him. You cut him. I mean, stabbing is this way.
His ex-girlfriend came up to me last week and apologized for lying to the cops about it.
Listen, you tell me who cut him.
Nobody did.
Sure they did. He was cut.
He cut himself.
How?
With a knife?
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
You think that he's dumb enough to do that? I mean, it's possible.
Yes, I do.
It's possible that he's dumb enough to do that. Possible. I don't think so. And the problem is that you put yourself in the situation by going over, getting involved in a situation that you had absolutely no reason to be involved with. Somebody said something made you mad. You went up to the car, kicked the car, knocked the window out. Stupid. The fact that you started it because you were looking for trouble, driving around, shouting out of the car, you were with your girlfriend, it was her birthday, your mother shouldn't have let you drive a car anyway. They don't go to school. You explain to me why they don't go to school.
They've been on add and subtract since they've been in second grade, and I'm tired of it. 95% of the kids in Iowa get their GED.
In any event, I find that you cut them. I also find that they're a little bit culpable themselves and that they had no out-of-pocket expenses with regard to this injury because the insurance is going to cover it. Now, did he pay for breaking the window?
No, I've got the estimate on
Just tell me how much it was for breaking the window.
The window is at $189, but I've got pictures of other damages that was done to the car.
I don't care what the other damage was done to the car. There were 12 girls around the car. that they chose not to identify because your son said, well, we live on a dirt road and the car was very dirty. He went up, he kicked the car, he kicked the window out of the car, and there were 12 other people involved. So it's $189 for the car and $1,000 for cutting him. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,189. That's all.
Instructor, she made a big scene about it. Basically, just go to a regular salon.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hart versus Hart. Step forward, please.
63-year-old salesperson Carol Hart is suing her granddaughter, 23-year-old Krista Hart, for a down payment on a condo, a loan for bail, and the cost to repossess a vehicle.
Mrs. Hart, the defendant is your granddaughter.
Yes.
And your claim has several pieces to it.
That's right.
One involves a car that you purchased for your granddaughter. She was supposed to make all the payments, pay the insurance. She didn't do that. You repossessed the car. You want the cost of the repossession of the car. That's the first part of the case. Then you say that you gave both your granddaughter and your grandson, her brother, the down payment for a condo. And the idea was that they were supposed to act appropriately, responsibly with the condo so that they could use that condo at some point to sell, and each of them could have their own place, but they would have a little bit of money because you have a child.
That's correct.
After they moved in, you made a gift to them of the money.
That's true.
Then you say you took that back because your grandson got a girl pregnant and they didn't do what you had intended to do with this condo, so you want the down payment back. The third thing is her brother was in jail. She called you and said, I need $500 to bail him out of jail. You made her a loan of the $500.
$300.
Okay, $300 for bail for your grandson.
Right.
And he got out of jail, and she says, get it from him. So it's those three things, the car, the condo loan, and the bail money. How much are you seeking from her for the amount that you had to spend to repossess the car?
$77 is all.
Well, that's nonsense, and that happened almost a year ago, right?
Well, just a year ago, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's $77.
I gave her plenty
nonsense.
of time to pay it back. I just put in her
Forget
gas
it.
tank.
All right, let's forget the car from a year ago, $77. All right, Miss Hart, let's get to the condo. How much did you loan her for the condo?
Each of them $3,000, total of $6,000.
Okay, so she put $3,000 in on the condo.
Right.
And when was that?
That was in 98. That would be September of 98.
And at what point, Mrs. Hart, did you say to them, now the condo is yours, it's a gift?
They moved in on Halloween, and that was at Christmas that we said that.
So you don't have to pay us back the money?
Right.
Okay. Christmas of 98, you forgave the loan?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, then, but there was the understanding that they would use that either, as you said, for each of them to go their separate ways and for a house or to go for a bigger one together. Then her brother, after that, got somebody pregnant, and he wound up moving her and her child and the new baby into the condo, which was too small. There was 6 people, counting Krista and her son. I'm sure it was difficult. The girl doesn't speak English. It was a small, cramped place, and I'm sure it was really hard. But I think it was in January that Krista just blew it one night, and she called me all night long, waking me up, throwing them out, having a fit. Now, she got very mad at me for not coming over there and doing something.
I haven't heard anything about this loan that was forgiven in Christmas time.
Well, it was still owed. They were still in the condo, all of them.
Of course, I understand that.
But then this was in January, she threw them out.
Who threw who out?
She tried to throw him out, and she just left the next day.
Okay, so who's living in the place now?
Nobody. They sold it. That's the point.
Okay, so they sold it.
The money was not used for the purpose intended.
Just a
Neither
second.
of them worked for a while.
Just a second. How much did you get from the sale of the condo?
Round figure, my portion would have been somewhere close to $4,000, I want to say.
Did you get that money?
Yes, I did, but
Good.
I should also mention that it wasn't sold. The sale was not final until April. The 4 previous months, from January when I moved out until April, my brother, I told him since I was not there, would be responsible for the mortgage payment, which he told me he was.
And he didn't pay?
He did not. So I used my portion of the money that we got from the sale to pay off the mortgage, the telephone bill, which was in my name, the gas bill. He hadn't paid any bills.
The stuff that was in your name, but your brother
Everything.
had to pay. Your brother had to pay part of it out of his portion of the sale as well.
He
from the mortgage. I'm just talking the mortgage, not the bills.
Yeah, the mortgage, yes.
Yes, of course, because they took that right off the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course they did. You didn't say, well, let her pay, and the bank said, okay. They took that right off the top. So
Yes, they
how much did you clear after both you and your brother paid off the mortgage?
I don't know, probably close to, $2,500, $3,000. I can't remember the exact
And what did you do with the money?
That was the telephone bill, the electric bill, the gas bill, the association due. Oh, no, that was paid through the close of escrow also. My brother's car payment, he was delinquent on his car payment. He couldn't get to work.
Fine. It's hard. I mean, I'm not stupid. If your brother's not paying any of those bills, then why in the world would you pay his car payment if he's getting $3,000?
Well, because he blew his money on God knows what.
No, you didn't. You didn't pay his car payment. I don't believe that you're that stupid. I really don't. That doesn't mean that your grandmother's entitled to her money back. You can't make a gift back into a loan. You cannot say, now I want the money back because it was not used for what I intended it to be used for. Now I want it back. You cannot do that, Miss Hart. Now let's get to the bail. Did you agree to give your grandmother back money for the bail?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
So why didn't you give it back to her?
My brother had told me that he had taken care of it.
Your brother is a liar. I mean, if I believe you, then your brother is a low-life, pun scum liar.
He was for a while. Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes.
Your grandmother tells you that she has not received the bail money back.
Oh, I didn't find out about that until she mailed me a letter, I want to say like maybe a month later, because he had told me that everything was cleared, and we weren't exactly on speaking terms at the time, so I was not aware of the fact that it was not paid back until
But
about a
now
month
you
later.
know. Mrs. Hart, your granddaughter owes you $300 that she borrowed in order to get her low-life brother out of jail. If half of what you tell me is true, either you're the best sister in the world, the dumbest, or the biggest liar. I'm not sure which one. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. $300, excuse me.
She's a crazy lady.
Pretty faces and money don't mix.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Gilbraith versus Brown. Step forward.
30-year-old electrician Steve Gilbraith is suing his ex-wife, 30-year-old food care supervisor Kristen Brown, for an insurance settlement she received when their marital home burned down.
Mr. Gilbraith, you and the defendant had been married.
Yes, ma'am.
You are now divorced.
Yes, ma'am.
Your claim has to do with some property that was in the marital home. The marital home was destroyed by fire. The defendant was reimbursed for losses in that fire by insurance, and you want to be paid for the stuff that was in the house that belonged to you.
That is correct, ma'am.
Okay. So now I need some dates from you, sir. When were you and the defendant married?
We were married October 7th, 1989, divorced October...
Sure, just a second. I'll ask the questions. When did you separate?
Late 97, 98.
Do you remember the month?
I believe it was in January.
Of 1998. And when you separated, you were living in the home that burned down?
At the time, yes, and then I was asked to move out.
No, just a second. Just answer the question. Don't volunteer. Never volunteer. At the time that you separated, you were living in the house that burned down.
Yes.
The divorce became final when?
On October 29th, 99.
Almost 2 years after you had separated.
Yes.
And 1 month later, the house burned down.
That is correct.
After the final divorce.
That is correct.
Now, what property do you claim, sir, was left in the house when you moved out in January of 1998?
They were personal belongings of mine that the defendant had agreed that I could keep there.
You're volunteering information again. I said, what property did you leave in the house?
This is a list of everything, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Galbraith, between January of 1998 and the time of the divorce in October of 1999, had you gone back to the house at all for any of your property?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What property did you go back for?
Mainly at the time, it was my personal clothing and stuff like that. Things that I had left there were items that I was actually working on remodeling my son's room in the house, my tools and stuff like that. The majority of what I took out was my personal clothing at the time.
Mm-hmm. Now, I see a large document in there. Is that your judgment of divorce?
I had my the degree of disillusion here also.
I'd like to take a look at it. This says that at the time of your divorce, you and your wife had allocated all property that belonged to each of you.
That's correct.
And your judgment of divorce says that at the time of this agreement, you have decided whose property belongs to whom, and whoever has physical possession of that property now is the owner of that property. Did you know that?
Yes, ma'am.
The husband and wife agree that each party shall retain as his or her own, free and clear of any claims of the other party, all items of household goods and furnishings presently in his or her possession. That's what it says. So, at the time that the house burned down, sir, all the property in her possession was hers.
The power tools that were in the house I was using to, like I say, to remodel my son's house. Those are tools I use every day on my job. The items that was in there were items that we, her and myself, had agreed verbally that she would allow me to keep there.
Then you put it in this agreement. Did you have an attorney?
At the time, no.
Should have. You signed this.
As I said before, we had a disillusion, and it was an agreement between us in the best interest of our children to keep everything. We've been friends for over 20 years. We tried to keep it in the most friendly possible way we could.
That's fine. What I'm saying to you, Mr. Gilbraith, is that you keep it as friendly as possible. But when you outline in an agreement all other property, you talk about the house, you talk about the car, your truck, it names the truck, it names the year of the truck, the make of the truck, the model of the truck that you're going to keep. It talks about the car that she's going to keep, that she's going to keep up the insurance. You have to do certain deed transactions. It talks about all of those things. And then it talks about personal property. And if you had any personal property in that home, you'd just as easily say, listen, we have to put in another paragraph and list all this property that I have in the home that belongs to me. That's very easy. Didn't anybody tell you that, sir? Am I the first person who's told you that?
No, ma'am. I just, as I said, I assumed, being friends that we were, that I could take her on her word.
Did you give him your word that this was all of his property?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
This list, which was made April of 2001, well after the fire.
That's how long it took me to get all the records and inventory from the insurance company.
It may be, sir. But you had no insurable interest in the property as of the date of your divorce. Because as of the date of this divorce, you were not the owner of any property that was in her possession. It's a simple legal matter, unless she acknowledges that she was merely holding this property for you. You acknowledge that?
No, ma'am.
However, she knows the tools that were in my son's room and all my stuff that was there in that room was being done for her in regards to the remodel of that home, which I had promised I would finish.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a fire happened in the home before that.
That may be. But you're not suing under that theory that you were a workman doing renovation in the house, your tools were there when it burned down, and therefore those tools should be covered by her insurance.
It also says in my agreement any inheritant material that was in the house was also mine.
You're talking about under miscellaneous?
Yes, I had things that were given to me by my deceased mother and etc.
As to Gilbraith. Don't pull my leg. Okay. The section that you're reading says the parties agree that each shall retain as his or own, free and clear of any claims of the other, all items of clothing and personal effects presently in his or her possession. The parties further acknowledge and agree that neither party shall have any enforcement rights to the other's inheritance or expectancies, and all future inheritances and expectancies shall remain the property of the inheritor, which means that if somebody dies in your family and leaves you money or property, she cannot claim any of that property. That has nothing to do with your power tools.
No, it has to do with quilts that were made by my mother and my grandmother.
You should have gotten them out before 2 years. Those were not power tools. You don't redo your son's room with quilts.
No, but that's things that she had stored.
Mr. Galbraith, this is a very simple case. You were divorced. At the time of your divorce, the judgment's divorce, said all property that you each have in your individual possession belongs to each of you individually, free and clear of any claims by the other. You had the opportunity at the time of the divorce to include this list as property that was in the house that you intended to get back, that it was an agreement with the defendant that you would get back.
She knew
Very
that.
simple. I said including in the judgment of divorce. You did not do that. If you did not do that, you had no interest in any property in her home. Your case is dismissed.
This is case number 174 on the calendar in the matter of Lopez versus Gonzalez. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Lopez, you and the defendant have a child together. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is your complaint that the defendant had you arrested on false charges of assault, domestic violence, and you want to be compensated for that. And in addition, you want a home entertainment center that you say was yours, that is in the defendant's home. The defendant says that the home entertainment center was a gift. You did, in fact, assault her, and she is counterclaiming for her injuries.
I don't have nothing. He took everything.
Defendant says the home entertainment center was a gift. Do you still have it?
No, he took everything.
She doesn't have it. And that you did, in fact, assault her. And her counterclaim is for the injuries that she suffered during the course of this assault, which occurred around Christmas time. Is that right?
Christmas Day.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lopez. Were you living with the defendant at the time that you were arrested?
I was moving out. I was in the moving out.
He was already a week out.
I'm going to get to you in a minute, but don't interrupt him. What do you mean you were in the process of moving out? What does that mean?
The day after Thanksgiving, we had a really big argument and we had broken up. So we made an agreement by no later than the first week of January that I had to have everything of mine moved out and be completely moved out. I was staying between there, like a few days if I babysitted my son, or I stood at my best friend's house or my mother's house.
So most of the time you weren't living there?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about Christmas Day. You came over to the house?
What happened was we agreed to meet up at my best friend's house. We picked up my son and her son, her other child, and we agreed to go back to her house, to her apartment, and open up the children's gifts together. And from there, when we arrived at the home, we opened the gifts. She asked me to stay a little bit longer while she took a shower so I could watch the children. I agreed. At that time, I received a phone call from my fiancé on my fiancé's cell phone, just before she went to the bathroom to take a shower. At that time, I was speaking to her. I explained to her what time I was going to be finished. I explained to her that she was going to take a shower and I was going to meet up with her right after. At that time, she began screaming, saying stuff that didn't need to be said over the phone for my fiancé to hear. So at that time, I said, why are you acting up? You know what, I'm not going to stay. I'm leaving. She began an argument. I tried to leave. I had my son in my arms with the cell phone. She wouldn't let me leave. So I said, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm leaving my son. I put my son down in the crib. At that time, I dropped the cell phone in the crib without knowledge when I put my son down. I tried to leave. She blocked the doorway. I kept on explaining to her, move, I want to leave. I'm not staying, I'm out. She didn't want to let me. So then I barged through. She had her arms spread out against the doorway, holding me, not letting me go. So when I barged through so I could leave, she scratched her arm. So I left. When I got outside, I went to go call my fiancé.
That is not even
And when I got downstairs,
Ms. Gonzalez, I don't
back.
want to hear it's not true again. Do you understand?
No problem.
No, that's not an answer. The answer is yes, Your Honor, I understand. I will not interrupt again.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. I will not interrupt again.
That's right. Go ahead.
So outside, I went to make an attempt to call my fiancé, and I noticed I didn't have the phone. So when I went back upstairs...
That was stupid.
Because the phone was upstairs.
That was stupid.
I went and I looked for the phone. And
Say yes, that was stupid.
Yes, it was stupid. So I asked her if she had the
you
cell
just
phone.
gotten out of the house, you pushed her, she scratched her arm, according to you. You leave the cell phone and you go. You don't go back into a confrontational area, sir. That's stupid, Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, so you go back upstairs. What happened when you went back upstairs?
When I got upstairs, I asked her, did she have the cell phone? She says, I don't have it. So as I looked through the house, I remembered I had it in my hand when I put my son down. When I looked into the crib, my son wasn't in the crib. I went and found my cell phone under the sheet. Again, I attempted to leave. Again, she blocked my way. I said, just move, then move. At that time, she told me she had called the cops and I was going to be arrested. I said, well, I'm leaving. And outside the door, a lady, which I had never seen before in this building for the whole year I was living there, had my son. As I attempted to take my son from the lady, 2 female officers were coming upstairs.
What were you taking your son from the lady for?
I didn't know the lady. if I don't know the person, I don't want nobody I don't know having my son in my hands. I don't know what they'll do. So the 2 officers were downstairs. They came, and they brought us all into the apartment. Me, her, and the 2 kids. While we were in the apartment, the officers explained because this domestic problem, they were going to arrest both of us. At that time, they would take both children and put them in child custody. I said, I'm not pressing no charges. I don't want nothing. I just want to go home. My son can stay. I have no problem. At that time, the female officer told me to stand by the door, don't move. So at that time, there was a knock at the door. 2 more officers came. 2 male officers now. We go back inside. She's in there screaming. Next thing you know, all I hear is her mother screaming at me. Jason, I wouldn't do this to you. And she said, why are you doing this? I said, what's going on? The officer said, turn around, and they handcuffed me. Later, when I was taken down to central booking for arrest, I was informed of the charges. It was assault with weapon, child endangerment. They said I put a knife to my son's back. At no time did I ever touch a knife to grab against my son. Because of that, I had charges of an ACS for attempted on my child, and
All right, you were held in jail for 2 days, is that right?
for, almost 2 days.
2 days.
I called my fiance.
All right, the charges were subsequently dismissed when you decided to drop all charges against each other, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you see your son now so regularly?
No.
Why not?
I still can't because she won't let me see my son.
Uh-huh.
It's a struggle for me to see my son.
All right.
And every time we went to family court for me to get a chance to see my son, she made false charges, knowing I was going to get visitation of my son, to have me arrested.
Okay. I'd like to see first the medical bills that you have as a result of this incident on Christmas Day.
I didn't get to get the medical bills because this happened so quick that I didn't get a chance to get them. So I have my pictures.
Let me see all the papers you have. All the papers.
Your Honor, Judy.
Shh, just a minute.
I have a scar on my left hand.
Just a minute.
And the lady that
Just
called,
a second. These scratches are what you're talking about?
Yeah, I had a scratch.
All right.
I had a hairline fracture in my left hand.
Don't tell me you had a hairline fracture without any medical bills, without reports. Don't tell me about a hairline fracture.
Excuse me, Judge.
Shh. I'll get to you in a minute.
Thank you.
I have a few questions for Ms. Gonzalez. The police officer who took this report took your statement, is that right?
Yes, and on the statement?
I'm speaking. The police officer who took the report took your statement, and he read the statement to you, is that right?
Yes, he did.
And after he read the statement, he asked you if it was accurate, is that right?
Yes, he did.
And you said it was accurate, is that right?
That's right.
And you signed it?
Yes.
And you wouldn't have left out anything vitally important, is that right?
No.
So I'm going to read what you wrote in the statement.
I didn't write that. The officer.
What the I don't care whether you wrote it or the officer wrote it. I just asked you whether he read it to you and whether you signed it. You said yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jason Lopez says ex-girlfriend Suhey Gonzalez had him falsely arrested for domestic abuse. Suhey claims Jason slammed her hand in a door and held a knife to their son's throat.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, I'm going to read what you wrote in this police report. It says, at the time and place listed above, the perpetrator, that's him, who was the victim's common-law husband, had grabbed the victim by her throat, choked her, at which time he forced her left hand between the door and the wall and repeatedly slammed the door on the victim's hand, causing substantial pain and swelling to the victim's left hand. That's what this says, okay? Now I'm going to tell you what you wrote in your answer. When I told him to leave, he grabbed our son and tried to take him. When I tried to stop him, he pulled a knife out and held it to my son's neck. He said, if you don't let me take him, I'll kill both of us.
No, they didn't write it in the police.
They wrote nothing about a knife threatening to kill himself, threatening to kill this child. You know why they didn't write that down? Because you didn't tell them that.
Is that you?
No. Because you didn't tell them that.
All right,
at the time.
didn't tell them exactly at the time.
Right, at the
because
time.
they had me in a separate room, they had him outside.
Just a second. At the time, you didn't tell them that he took out a knife, he held it to the baby's throat, he threatened to kill the baby. You told him that he hurt your hand and your hand was in pain. Not that he threatened to kill your child. You made that up later.
No, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh, no, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
They knew that he was the one. Can I say something?
Yeah.
In that police report, the lady signed, she's the one who signed right next to the statement.
not me. Because I didn't call the cops because he broke my phone, and that's why. I didn't call the cops. The lady from my building called the cops. She's the one who had both of my kids because my oldest was crying. She's the one who called the cops.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to call the cops.
Here we go.
Because he wanted to take my son, just like he took my son 3 weeks ago.
Let me explain
and
to you
kidnapped
what
my son.
got you angry, Miss Gonzalez. I've been in this business a long time. He's at your house. According to your answer, he told you a couple of weeks before or a month before he didn't want to have, I'm speaking, that he didn't want to have anything to do with you anymore. He had a new girlfriend. Clearly he has a new girlfriend. All right?
Excuse me.
I'm speaking. I'm speaking. He comes over to your house, right? According to your answer. You open up the Christmas presents together. It's all a nice family situation. You ask him to watch the kids while you go take a shower. This is what you write here. When you come out of the shower, you hear him on the phone with his girlfriend. I'm not saying that that's what happened to her. I'm saying that that's what she wrote in her answer. That makes one very angry.
Of course.
Of course. Of course that makes you very angry because there you're here with him, with a new baby. He's taking care of the baby's presents. He's in your house Christmas time, and he's going to say goodbye to you, and he's going to go to girlfriend number...
And it was just a week that we had broken up.
Fine. So you're really angry. The knife was a nice touch. He wasn't arrested with a knife. He wasn't arrested with a knife. You know what I'm talking about.
And
you know what I'm talking about.
And I know what happened.
Yeah,
and I know exactly what happened. Because he tried to take my son. He tried to take my son.
Just a second. What do you mean?
That's how... Who called my mother?
Miss Gonzalez.
Who called my mother? The lady?
Miss Gonzalez.
That called the cops?
Miss Gonzalez. Is he the father?
Yes, he's the father. And I'm not saying that he's not.
I'm speaking. Is he the father?
Yes.
Then you have no greater right to this child than he does.
But he kidnapped my son for 3 weeks.
You can't kidnap your own child unless there's an order of custody.
This is recently. We've been going through this. I just want to go on with
What
my life.
I'm
I want
telling
him
you,
to go on with his life. If he wants to see his son, he's more than welcome to see his son.
Miss
I have nothing
Gonzalez,
wrong with that.
These,
But
I'm
he cannot
speaking,
see his son
I'm
because
going
he
to
has
say
order
1, 2, 3,
protection.
then they're going to put you out. When you claim that you were severely assaulted, and the best picture that you can come up with is a picture showing me 2 scratches on your arm. 2 scratches. That's what they are. No hairline fracture, no hospital records, no... Well, all right. This was an argument. And unfortunately, because the police take domestic violence seriously, as they should, they got to arrest somebody.
And I lost my securities license.
Mr. Lopez, you do not get an A+ for smarts. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't get an A+ for going back for a $39.99 cell phone after you have already had an altercation with her, and you were out of the problem. You were outside.
Because he never went outside.
Excuse me?
Because he never went outside.
Because you wouldn't let him go outside, Miss Gonzalez,
because
because
he was
you
trying
were
to kidnap
so
my
angry.
son. He was trying to take my son. And he's devious like that, that he would take my son and leave. Just like he did 3 weeks ago. And that's why he was going to get rearrested. I had to get the cops to come get my son from his house.
You keep saying my son.
Because he's my son. Because he don't pay no child support. He doesn't do nothing.
What do you do for a
He
living?
hasn't done nothing.
What do you do for a living?
I was working.
What do you do for a living now?
Nothing.
Who supports the child?
I do.
No, not if you're not working. You get welfare?
Yes, I do.
If you get welfare, then I support your son. You think I should take him?
Yeah, but I was working.
Just a second. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? He doesn't support his child, and you don't support your child. I support your child. So that means that I should get custody? Don't be ridiculous. All right, Miss Gonzalez, you keep saying, it's my child. He's taking my child. He's entitled to see his child. It doesn't sound to me like he's too bright. Because he went from this child, you're going to have another child? You keep rubbing your belly, right? Yes. You got enough trouble with one. You're going to make another one?
Yep.
How many more do you have?
That's the only one. The only one coming.
In any event, I read the police report. I read the police report that doesn't talk about a knife to the throat, threatened to kill the child, threatened to kill anybody, and I see 2 scratches on your arm. You also, sir, yeah, you want to play that for me?
Yes, I even have an
Go
audio
ahead,
tape of
let
her
me hear it.
saying-
But I still can't get over the fact why you had me arrested.
Because I was just upset. Things were going through my mind. I'm admitting I'm sorry.
Oh, so you're admitting that you did get me arrested?
This is why he was...
This chick, because I was with another chick?
No, it wasn't only because of that. It was because a lot of things, Jason.
Oh, okay. But then why did you tell him I punched you in your face? I choked the out of you?
No, I didn't say that.
Gigi, the DA said that in the court.
Mr. Lopez, I didn't even have to listen to that. I mean, I've heard this, I've been around this business now for 27 years. right? Yes. And I know, when I read your papers, I see her affect, right? Yes. And I know exactly what happened. That doesn't mean that you were smart, A, as I said, to go back to the cell phone, B, to get a telephone call from your girlfriend. Tell your girlfriend, don't call me until I call you. I don't want to create any more problems with her. I'm going to open presents with the children. Don't call me. That creates a problem.
We had already opened the gifts. This was around the time I was getting ready to leave.
She shouldn't have called you. And you shouldn't have spoken to her. Say, this is a tacky problem. I don't want there to be any problem with her. Don't call me. I'll be there. I'll be home when I'm home. And the reason she called is because it's a little territorial. She's not so happy either. You're going over to visit mother number 1. She's going to be mother number 2. You know, you got to be smart.
She wasn't pregnant at the time.
2 months later. Wow,
now she is. Now she is, right? And on your security job, you can hardly afford to pay for yourself.
I don't have work.
Listen to me, sir. When you had a security job, you could hardly afford to pay for 1 child. Now you're going to have 2. Did you pay for a lawyer? No. They gave you a free lawyer.
Yes.
You spent a couple of days in jail.
Yes.
You shouldn't have.
And so did I, because he falsely arrested me.
For what?
He said that I made phone harassment. On June 30th, he called me. I have the phone records for that. He called me with my own phone card that he rung up. He falsely arrested me on June 31st. I got arrested. I made the report on June 30th. As soon as the time right after he called me and called them and let them know that he was calling me and harassing me. And he called me with my own phone card. And right after that, he calls his girlfriend and his mother.
No. No.
Ms. Gonzalez, your counterclaim is for the assault that you claim he perpetrated on you
and
on
forced
Christmas
arrest.
Day.
It says it on the paper.
And according to your complaint, you are filing for injuries and damages due to the alleged assault. Okay? You do say somewhere in your answer that he filed false charges, but the damages you are requesting are for the assault. And I don't find that he assaulted you, so your counterclaim is dismissed. The only thing that I have to consider now is whether there was an argument and whether, as a result of false statements that you made and continue to make and continue to embellish to the police,
not me,
that
because
I'm
I want to go on with my life. He's the one who brings me here. For what?
He brought you here
for
because
what? He keeps calling me and harassing me.
Listen to me. He's known you a long time. I've met you now for about 15 minutes, and I don't think he's crazy. And I wouldn't precipitate phone calls and contact with you because I think that you're an angry lady. I think that you feel as if he jilted you, that he left you high and dry with your baby, and now he's got somebody else. All of those things, doesn't pay child support, you're not working, but that doesn't give you the right to have him arrested and make false allegations, which I believe that you did, and I'm awarding him $1,000 on his claim. That's all. By the way, she doesn't have your entertainment center.
Yes, she
That's
does.
all.
Your Honor, when we went there, the officers explained.
Well, here's our excuse. You may step out. Yes.
37-year-old trucker John Staley says during a visit with his sister, 38-year-old customer service rep Terry Thompson, she attacked him with a hammer. John says Terry lied to police and had him arrested for domestic violence.
Mr. Staley, the defendant is your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
And according to your complaint, she filed a false police report causing you to be arrested, spending a day in jail. Those charges were subsequently dismissed, but you want her to pay for your lost wages.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right? When did this incident occur that caused you to be arrested?
August 9th.
And where did it take place?
At the defendant's home of residence.
What were you doing there?
On August 9th, I came home to my home, and I found my niece, my oldest niece, on the phone.
Your oldest niece is your daughter?
Yes.
Go ahead.
She was calling people on the phone, and she advised me that her car had broken down. She didn't have any money on her, and she needed help getting the car towed to get the car fixed. And she asked for my assistance. At the point, I didn't really have any money, but as we were discussing this, the tow truck showed up at my residence. So I told Lori to go with the tow truck driver to go get the car, have the vehicle towed, and I would go to the bank, withdraw money to pay for the towing. And Lori needed to go back to her mother's house, so I took Lori back to her mother's house, and that's what I was doing there.
And what happened when you got there?
I walked with Lori upstairs to the apartment. I stayed in the hallway.
Your Honor, don't put your hand up yet. You'll have an opportunity to tell me your side of the story.
I stayed in the hallway while Lori went in and got her things, and there was a discussion that Terry made
about that I owed her an apology over an incident that took place 2 years ago.
Have you spoken to your sister since?
I haven't spoken to my sister since February or March of this year.
But you were outside in the hallway.
I was in the hallway of the apartment.
She came out to the hallway?
Yes, she did.
To tell you
she
that
wanted an apology, and she made some statements, and I told her she needed to get her facts straight on that issue. But I wasn't going to apologize for this incident. It's 2 years old, and there was no need, and I felt I was in the right of that incident.
Okay.
And she told me to leave. And I tried telling her that I needed to take Lori back to get her car. And she said, no, you're not. She demanded that I leave, and if I didn't leave, she was going to go in, get a hammer, and she was going to beat me with the hammer. And I said, fine. So I turned around. I started walking down the steps. I was on the second step when my sister tried shoving me down the stairs. As she was pushing for me from behind, I turned around with my arm. I raised my arm in defense, and at the same time, I tried to maintain my balance on the stairwell.
Had she gotten the hammer?
Not at that point. She got hysterical and everything. She started screaming out loud, and she ran back into her apartment. And I started walking down the stairs, and I was at the first turnaround. There's 3 flights of stairs, and there's a turnaround at one point, and that's when she emerged with the hammer from the apartment.
Did she come down the stairs to
Yes,
where
she
you
did.
were?
I started running down the stairs. I was at the bottom of the stairs when we came together, and she went to swing the hammer, and I put my hands up in a high blocking fashion, and the hammer caught my right forearm, and then I returned a kick to Terry, kicking her away from me, and this bought me a couple seconds to get out the door. Terry then chased me out the door, and I turned and I tossed my keys at Terry. I missed Terry, and my keys went into the bushes on the east side of the doorwell. And then she continued to swing the hammer, and she started yelling to her neighbors, call 911, I'm being assaulted, as she was swinging the hammer.
Did you report this to the police?
Yes, I did.
When?
What happened was Lori came out, and I ended up taking Lori back to her car.
When did you report this to the police?
After I dropped my niece off at her car, I went straight to the sheriff's department.
And what happened when you got there?
They interviewed me, and I told them about the apology and
told them the story.
Told them the story. They said they had to talk to Terry about the hammer because she didn't originally tell them about the hammer. And they come back and they said she admitted to using the hammer and that I admitted to kicking her. And as far as they were concerned, this was mutual combat, and their policy is to take one of us to jail. They elected me because I was already there.
And subsequently the charges were dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see your paperwork, please. Now, Ms. Thompson, you tell me your version of these events, please.
He's been told several times, this would meaning the 5th time of this year, that he doesn't need to be over harassing me or coming over to my apartment. There's no reason for him to be over there since we do not get along. There's been a few domestic disputes in the past.
Whatever. Your daughter came home to gather some
Yeah.
stuff. Your brother is standing outside in the hallway of your apartment. What happened from there?
Okay. Well, I buzzed my daughter to get in. I only seen my daughter get in.
Fine. Your brother is standing in the landing.
He pushed his way in my
Where
apartment.
was he in the apartment?
He was standing in the living room.
Is the living room as soon as you enter into the door?
Yep.
Fine. Okay. So he's standing in the living room. What happened next?
He was trying to say hi, and he was being very much agitating and aggressive. And I said, why are you here? You know, you don't get along. We don't get along.
What did he tell you?
He was very much trying to say hi,
No, Miss
very
Thompson.
jumping up and down.
Miss Thompson, pay careful attention to me.
Okay.
He was there because he had brought your daughter there, right?
He could have waited in the car.
Just a second. Answer my question.
Yes.
He was there because he brought your daughter there.
Yes.
And he was waiting for her.
No.
He took her back to get her car.
That's correct.
Right. She got her things, and eventually, after this altercation, she left with him. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now, I want you to tell me about this hammer that you admit that you hit him with.
First, he punched me first before I got a chance.
Where did that take place?
It happened in the hallway.
What level in the staircase did it happen where he punched you?
On the 2nd level.
Was he in front of you or behind you?
He was in front of me.
What were you doing following him out of the building?
He was still agitating me the whole way.
What were you doing following him as he was leaving the building?
Your Honor, he's constantly over in my apartment.
I don't care about constantly over. I'm asking you, he's leaving. You told him to leave. He's on his way down the stairs.
Right, agitatingly.
Not agitating, leaving the building. Whether he's leaving the building and he's saying words to you or he's not saying words to you, he's leaving. If he was agitating you, you close your door to your apartment, you say, my goodness, I'm glad he's out of here. You close the door, case closed. What were you following him for?
To make sure I didn't want him to come back.
Oh. When did you get the hammer?
I got it out from my closet in my apartment.
What did you call the police for?
I've constantly called the police.
I don't care constantly. What did you call the police for today, that day?
Because he was over again at my apartment harassing me.
Miss Thompson, was your daughter moving out of your apartment? Is that why she came over?
No, she just wanted one thing, a paycheck. She was in there for a second and out.
So she just came home to get a paycheck, right?
Right.
When did she tell you that she was just there to get a paycheck?
She didn't even bother telling me.
She walked in the door and you said something.
He followed her up.
When your daughter walked in the house,
okay,
did she tell you what she was doing there?
No, first she said, John is behind me.
Fine.
And then he pushed his way in. And then she went to get her check to get him out of there.
That's not why she went to get her check. That is not why she went to get her check. She came to the house because she had to get a check. She asked him for a ride. He was not there uninvited by someone who lives in your house. Does your daughter live with you? Does your daughter live with you?
No, she doesn't.
Did she live with you then?
No.
Okay, but a check was in your home?
She came over to visit me, and the check was in her pants pocket, and she came back to pick up her check.
So she leaves clothes in your house?
There's times she visits.
So she leaves clothes in your house?
Yes.
So she invited him to drive her home. She walked in and said to you, John's behind me. Not John's behind me, he's stalking me. He followed me here in order to hurt you.
Yes, he did, Your Honor.
No, he didn't, Miss Thompson. Now, Miss Thompson, you told him to leave, and he was leaving. And your daughter was still upstairs. You're the one who gets agitated. Because you were following him down the stairs, you went upstairs, and you got a hammer.
And he couldn't stay in his car?
He could have stayed in his car.
Mm-hmm.
Sure he could have. That doesn't give you license to go and get a hammer and assault him with a hammer. That doesn't give you license to do that. He's not a stranger. It's not somebody that you don't know. You may not get along with your brother, Miss Thompson, but that doesn't give you license to pick up a deadly weapon and to use it. At all. And you're absolutely responsible for his lost day's wages, which in this case, all he's suing for is $134.84. You got it. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Parties are excused. You may step down.
18-year-old Nikki Truslow is suing her ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old Josh Carter, and his fiancée, 20-year-old Yolanda Walker, for assaulting her with a stick. Josh and Yolanda are countersuing for harassment.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 173 on the calendar in the matter of Truslow versus Walker Carter. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Ms. Truslow, the defendant, Mr. Carter,
Yes.
was a former boyfriend of yours.
Yes.
The co-defendant, Miss Walker, is his current girlfriend. They have a child together, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, Ms. Truslow, the two of them assaulted you.
Yes.
They say you started the whole problem, you precipitated the assault, and they are counterclaiming for harassment. So that's what this case is about.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
It happened on January 11th of this year. But the night before it happened, on January 10th, I had stopped by his cousin's house. At the time, I was 6 months pregnant with his daughter. And I stopped by there, and I go inside, and he walks me into the kitchen, and he's like, you know, me and Yolanda got back together because they dated in high school, and he was like, but I really don't want to be with her. I want things to work out with you. I was like, okay, and he was like, well, call me later. So I leave.
How many children do you have?
One.
With this lady?
Yeah.
You have a child?
Yes, we go Monday for the blood test.
We already took the paternity test on our half. We just
I
waiting
have
on
to
her.
go Monday, so. But here's a picture of her if you'd like to see. I don't know. But anyway, so then I leave, and he
How
was
old
like,
are you?
how old am I? I'm 18.
And how old are you?
21.
What do you do for a living?
Work. Work.
Would you stand still? Try standing still. What kind of work do you do?
Work at Burger King.
Burger King. Go ahead.
Okay.
So he's in the kitchen and he's smooching with you.
Yeah,
you're 6 months pregnant, and he says, "I'm back with her, but I don't want to be back with her. I really want to be back with you."
Yeah. So
Go
then he
ahead.
tells me to call him later on. He was going to a game or something, whatever. So I called him that
You ought
night.
to be
and
going
he
to his
wasn't-
second job.
Huh?
Go ahead, nothing.
Oh, so I called him that night and he wasn't there. I had a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock the next morning. So I go by his house. I had never seen her before. I'd never met her before until
Is
that
this your
day.
first child?
This is my first child. So I go by his house and he stayed in the basement. So I go around to the basement. I was on my way taking my
What did
friend
you go to his house for?
to see if he wanted to go to the doctor with me, because he had told me to call him the night before, and because he had already went to
Why
one
didn't you
doctor's
call him?
appointment. I did call him, but I didn't call him that morning. I was on the way.
Why didn't you call him that morning?
I don't know. I didn't know that she was going to be there. I had no idea. I mean, the day before he was telling me, that he wanted to get back with me. If she was going to be there, I wouldn't have never came. So I go by there and knock on the door, and Yolanda answers the door. And I was kind of surprised, and I was like, well, is Josh here? And so he comes to the door. And I was like, what's going on? Why last night you're telling me that you want to work things out and she's here? And he was like, he really didn't say too much. So me and him go into the other room. It's like a laundry room in their house, and we're in there talking. And I'm questioning him, why did you say this if you really didn't want to work things out? Well, Yolanda's like, well, I heard you wanted to fight me and da-da-da. And I was like, you know what, I didn't come down here to fight you. I just came down here to talk to Josh. So me and him are in the other room talking, and his mom has like a stick that she used to hold her sliding glass door with. And Yolanda hits me in the back of the head with it, and it breaks in two. Well, I turn around to defend myself. She's pulling my hair, hitting me with the other half of the stick, and Josh steps in between us and pushes me down on the left seat. And every time I try to get up, he's still pushing me down, and she's pulling my hair, hitting me with the other half of the stick. And so his grandma comes downstairs, and so then they both back up. The other half of the stick had flew kind of to the other side of the room where the door was. So I get up off the couch and I'm crying, and I was like, fine, if you wanted to fight like that, then I'm going to go get you locked up. So I grabbed the other half of the stick. I leave out the door, and I'm all upset.
What'd you grab the other half of the stick for?
Because I was going to use that as evidence to show that's what she hit me with. But I was at my car with my door open, willing to leave. I was not, trying to start anything else. They come outside. He walks over to my car and pushes me, jerks the stick out of my hand, and tells me to get the F on. So I go home, I tell my mom, and we go get warrants on both of them. And then I went by and saw my obstetrician to make sure that my baby was okay. They did the little heart monitor thing. She said everything was fine, and if I had any problems, any bleeding or anything, to make sure I went to the emergency room. The next morning when I woke up, I was in a lot of pain. My neck, my shoulders were really sore. I was having cramps in my stomach, I guess, from trying to get up and down off the couch. So I go to the emergency room, and I have the copy of that right here. So if you need,
she didn't bring that to the first.
It's kind of faded. So, but when we went to court, they didn't question Josh.
You were arrested.
No, we weren't arrested.
Yeah, I have that right here.
There was a trial.
There was a trial, yes.
And you were acquitted.
What does that mean?
Found not guilty.
Yeah.
What about you?
Dismissed.
No. He was found not guilty. Her case was dismissed.
He was found not guilty.
Yeah, and he didn't even say anything.
Shh. Okay. And her case was dismissed when?
The same day. They tried both of them at the same time.
So they were both found not guilty?
No. They had two lawyers against my one, okay? It was really...
Stop! Of course they had two separate lawyers.
I know
you
that,
don't have
but
your
what
own
I'm saying
lawyer.
is,
You have the
I
district
understand
attorney.
that.
Fine. So both found not guilty. Either you're guilty or you're not guilty. Whether you're dismissed, whatever. You're not guilty.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Now, shh.
Okay.
I don't understand one thing, madam. You said to me a moment ago when you started this discussion with me, you said that you would never have gone to the house if you knew she was there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you said that when you went to the house that morning, instead of calling first,
Okay.
Why don't you receive instead of talking?
I'm listening.
Good. And if you saw her because she answered the door, why didn't you just leave?
I didn't know I was going to get beat up, I
Try
wasn't
answering my question. You got a hot temper. You're not helping your case.
Sorry.
You told me if you knew she was there, you never would have gone.
Yes.
She opens the door. You see she's there. Why didn't you leave?
Because I still wanted to find out what was going on.
Well, why don't you find out what was going on by picking up the phone and calling sometime later and saying, hey, Josh, what's going on?
Yeah, I could have
Yeah,
done
good.
that.
Now, tell me your version of these events.
It started off 2 days prior to the day of the fight. I had came by to drop my daughter off. I was going to my cousin's house or whatever, and Josh and her were on the phone. I guess they were arguing or whatever on the phone, but he ended up hanging the phone up on her, and when he got off the phone, he told me, he said, Nikki says she's going to F you up. And I was like, why is she saying that? I don't even know this girl. Never seen her a day before in my life. Okay, then the phone rung again.
Could you stop right there? Did you have a conversation with the plaintiff a couple of days before this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you call her or did she call you?
She called me.
What did she say when she called you?
She just wanted to know what was going on.
What was going on? What do you mean, what was going on?
Me and her getting back together.
And what did you say to her?
I said, we're not getting back together.
Did she at that point say anything about Miss Walker?
Yeah, she said she was going to F her up.
Did she say why?
No, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tabitha Truslow says ex-boyfriend Josh Carter and his fiancée, Yolanda Walker, assaulted her with a stick.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so after he told me that, the phone had rung again, and so I answered. He told me, he said, if it's Nikki, tell her I don't want to talk to her, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so I answered the phone, and she goes, is Josh there? And I was like, he doesn't want to talk to you. So then I asked her, you know, why did you tell him that you're going to F me up and you don't even know nothing about me? She was like, well, as soon as my car gets back here, I'll be over there to fight you. That night, she came over there with 2 girls. I was not there. His mother and Josh was there, and she and 2 other girls that came over there to fight me.
Did you go over to his house 2 days before?
I did not.
Did your mother see her over there?
Yes, ma'am.
If I called his mother, would she say that you were over there 2 days before?
I don't know, but
oh, she probably would.
But also, could I?
Don't say anything other than answering my questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. What happened when she came over a couple of days before this incident?
She just started cussing and talking about she was going to beat her up. Where's Yolanda at?
Go ahead.
Okay, then the next day, which was the 10th, it was on a Wednesday, I had went to go pick them up from his cousin's house. I gets there, he comes and tells me, Nikki came out here today, talking about she's going to beat you up again, and she came by the house last night, and my 3-year-old daughter at the time overheard her say that...
Don't tell me what anybody overheard.
Okay, well, Thursday comes, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and she knocks on the door, I go answer the door, she walks in the house, uninvited. I asked her, I said, well, why did you, say the stuff about me around my daughter? That was the main point. She said, Yolanda, I didn't come down here for this, da-da-da-da-da-da.
No, don't do da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She didn't say da-da-da-da-da. I didn't come here for this. Go ahead.
She said she didn't come here for this, and that, she only wanted to talk to Josh or whatever. And I told her, I said, Nikki, I said, next time, don't come over here no more. She was just like, well, I can come over here anytime I want. I said, well, don't come over here while I'm here. So then she was like, B-I-T-C-H, da-da-da-da-da, something. And then I'm sorry with the da-da-da-da-da. But it ended up where she was like, I'll whip your da-da-da-da, whip your butt. And then so I was like, you ain't gonna do nothing. So at this time they were at the sliding glass door. Josh was like, probably like this to her. And she was behind him and she was like, I'll whip your da-da-da-da-da. Shoot, I got to have it with it. And so she said, I'll whip your butt or whatever. And so I got up, I was sitting on the couch. So I said, you ain't going to do nothing. I said, but I know you better not come over here next time. So she had grabbed the stick. And she was like, what? Like that. She came at me with the stick. I grabbed the stick from her. And when she had did like this, I grabbed it like this. And I took it from her and I hit her with it. And then from there, we had wrestled and I ended up tossing her on the couch. I had completely dropped the stick by then. The stick was on the floor when she picked it up. And I was just hitting her in the head. Josh came in between us and grabbed me and, took my hand out of her hair or whatever. And then she ran to get the stick, and then she ran out the house, and the first thing we thought was, oh, my car. I thought she was going to bust the windows out of my car because she just ran out of the house with the stick in her hand.
So he ran out and got the stick? Yeah,
he ran out and got the stick from her.
Okay. Let me hear about your counterclaim.
Okay, about the counterclaim.
Make sure it's a good one, unless you want to withdraw it.
She has harassed us the whole time. She calls the house. We had to get the number changed. She goes to his job.
Can I say something? No.
She goes to his job, tells him he shouldn't marry me. She talks bad about me.
He must be some bargain.
Try to get a...
He must be really a bargain. Do you have any money in a Swiss bank account? You have a Swiss bank account?
No.
That maybe they don't know about or they do know about?
She tried to get a job where I worked there, too. That's why.
At Burger King?
Yes, ma'am.
And he ended up...
And I ended up quitting.
And then she didn't want the job there anymore.
So that's harassment?
It's been a lot of issues. She sent mail to the house.
You don't have a lawsuit for harassment. Two women probably have a lawsuit for stupidity against somebody.
Could I say something, ma'am?
No, say nothing. You made a mistake. Probably you did too. Your mistake is 3 years old, and your mistake is a newborn.
My daughter's
because,
not a mistake.
Oh yes, because it tied you permanently to him. That means you two women are tied permanently to him when you were children. Children. Children having children is stupid. Children who don't know how to behave themselves is stupid. So don't tell me you're not stupid, and don't tell me these two children weren't mistakes. Big time. Now, you had no business going over there. I absolutely believe her that you were there before, that you had some inclination that that's where she stayed.
I didn't know.
Then you should have seen her at the door, closed the door, and left.
I just wanted to
I
make
don't
sure
believe.
that
I don't
he
believe
didn't-
you. Listen to me very carefully, madam. You had
Can I
no
also say
business.
something?
Say nothing. Your case is dismissed, as is your counterclaim. Next time, I want you to both, if you have any extra bucks, go to the store, buy birth control. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
No, it's real. Just leave us alone.
She can have them and have 10 kids by them.
Please don't get involved with people like her. Please don't.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cole versus Watts. Step forward, please.
23-year-old business owner Mariah Cole is suing her former employee, 27-year-old Rebecca Watts, for the cost of her merchandise. Mariah says when Rebecca returned a starter kit of adult toys, some of the products were missing.
Miss Cole, can you explain the kind of business that you run to me?
I run an adult novelty and home party business.
What is adult novelty?
We go into homes and hold parties for adults with lotions and potions and vibrators.
That kind of adult party?
Yes.
I didn't understand. I really didn't understand what that was from your complaint. And according to your complaint, the defendant wanted to be part of your business. And I gather that the way your business works is there's a starter kit that costs $250 that has a sampling of all the merchandise.
Correct.
And people take the starter kit, which they pay for, and then proceed to have house parties with other people and sell it, sort of like what we used to do with Tupperware.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Only high-tech Tupperware.
Right.
Okay. Your complaint alleges, and the defendant concedes, that she was interested in making some extra money, decided to try this business, took a starter kit from you, and your understanding was that she would not give you the $250 right up front, but would host her parties, and a percentage of the money that she received, she would give to you as in for payment for the starter kit as it went along. Is that right?
Yes.
And you did host some parties?
I hosted 2.
But they were not particularly successful?
Correct.
You decided you no longer wanted to be in business?
Correct.
And according to you, she did not return the starter kit in the same condition as you gave it to her?
Correct.
You want the $250 for the starter kit?
Yes.
So, that's the case. I'll hear you.
Okay. I brought her back the kit, and she told me that there were some items missing out of it. And one of the items was broke, which I knew that the lid on one of the items was broke. 2 of the items, which was some order forms and a whip, I did have in my car because I was in the process of moving. I had taken the kit over to my friend's mother's house to keep it there while I was moving so nothing happened to it. When she told me what items were missing, I knew for sure the 2 items that she said was missing were in there whenever I got the kit from her house, because even her mother and her saw the items in there because one of them was leaking and she
What
took it
did
out and
you
cleaned it.
leave this kit at your friend's house for?
I was in the process of moving and I was trying to get it over to her house.
Why didn't you just bring it over to her house right away?
I was trying to get all my stuff to storage and then move it over to her.
Yeah, but according to your answer, you left the kit at your friend's house and they took out the kit to look at and were fooling around with it.
Yeah, her
Whatever
mom
they-
was curious.
I mean, if she's going to use this starter kit again, it has to be in the exact same condition as you got it.
Right, I offered to pay her for the items that was broke, and the one item, the one potion stuff that was in there that she said wasn't in there, I didn't know what happened to that. So I offered to pay her for the items that were broke and the one item that was missing. And then I told her I had the other items, and then that's when she decided that she just wanted the money for the whole kit.
What did the kit look like when it came back to you?
When I received the kit back, there were items missing. The items that were missing entailed the bull whip, one of a set of 2 C-rings, 10 catalogs, making love oil, flavors strawberry and champagne, order forms, the diving dolphin, good head.
I don't even want to ask what that means.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There were also some of the bags that were missing, and erasers, which we use as tasters at our shows. The eager beaver, which appeared to be used. The pleasure mint that appeared to be used, which is true because we do arm massages at our parties. So that may have been used, but we would have appreciated that to have been cleaned up before she returned it to us. And then the tickle and taste was broke.
I have to make this simple, and I have to let these people go. Right, Bert? As fast as possible.
It's getting a little warm.
Right?
Here.
And you thought your wife was going to Tupperware parties. Okay. You don't have to be a genius to figure out that the reason you have a starter kit is the starter kit, I assume, is going to get used in the process of selling product. Because that's what it is. It's passed around. But the starter kit was new when it was given to you. Is that right?
Correct.
And the expectation was that you were going to use it in your business. Well, you can't return a used kit.
But she had told me that I could. That's why, or else I would have paid her up front if she would have told me I couldn't bring it back from the beginning.
Well,
she
did
told
you
me,
have
just
it-
go ahead and bring the kit back and don't worry about it.
Well, maybe she
So-
didn't know that you had used all these things in the kit. I mean, if you're returning it in the condition that she gave it to you, then she's absolutely right. Return the kit. If it's in the same condition as the one I gave to you, fine. But if she has somebody else who comes to her and wants to enter into a business relationship, she can't give them that kit. She can't. You're probably better off out of the business anyway. How much money did you make?
Maybe $40 off one show.
$40.
Yeah, it was more time consuming than anything.
Oh, you're entitled to your kit fee. You have the kit?
Yes.
Where is it?
Part of it is here and part of it is out there.
Okay,
with
but
us.
you have the kit. I don't
Yes.
want to see it.
Okay.
She just bought it.
Okay.
Okay? So you're going to give the kit to her and do with it what you will. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $250. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Your Honor, this is case number 298 on the calendar in the matter of Lord versus Rudell. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Are you Alex?
Yeah.
How old are you, Alex?
7.
Are you smart?
Yes.
You want to come up and sit here and talk to me for a minute?
No, thank you.
He said he was smart, right?
It's really nice up here. I have a cushion for you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Come on, she can talk to you better up here.
Come on. I can talk to you better than sitting in that
No,
chair.
thank you.
No, thank you. Okay. Got it. Alex is a little nervous. Miss Laura, according to your complaint, the defendant is a former roommate and friend of yours.
Yes.
You are suing him for many things. One of the things that you are suing him for is you believe that his son, Alex, injured your cat, and
Yes.
you had substantial veterinary bills.
Yes.
You are also suing him for some rent and utility bills and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the thrust of your complaint are the vet bills for the cat. Is that
Correct.
right? Okay. Based upon what I read, you had agreed to babysit for Alex that day, and his mother had brought him over. Is that you? They are not together.
No.
But you were going to do some babysitting, and they were going out someplace.
Correct.
The defendant and his former wife?
Right.
Okay. While you were all sitting around in the kitchen, tell me what you heard.
I was actually sitting at the kitchen table, so I had a view both of the hallway where the cat came from and where the child was sitting. I saw my cat leave my bedroom and walk down the hall. I saw him get up and run towards the cat. All of a sudden the cat screamed a really funny scream, and I didn't get up right away. One more scream and I did get up, and seeing her laying on the stairs, she was just laying there. Her eyes were kind of large and glassy, and she just looked different than any time I'd ever seen her. It was very scary for me and her, I'm sure. Picked her up and felt her leg and said that, yes, indeed, it was broken. I immediately called my veterinarian to tell them that we were on our way, that the cat had a broken leg. They left me with the child, and I got in the car with the cat to go.
And Alex?
And Alex, yeah. They had plans to go out, and quite truthfully, after the fact, I thought, why didn't they take the kid? But I was just so upset about the cat that I just had her, and my only thought was to get her to the vet as quickly as possible. They were going to be closing, and they knew we were coming. She said that in looking at the x-ray...
You can't tell me what she said.
Okay.
Unless you have a report from the vet, do you?
I do have reports from the vet.
I'd like to see the report.
And
from the
pictures
vet.
also, Veek.
Okay.
Let me see the picture.
And the photographs. Well, according to the letter, unfortunately, the fracture did not heal properly, so the only option left was amputation of that leg.
Her body began to absorb the leg, and she became in a lot of pain. So we tried pain pills for a short time, trying to preserve the leg. That didn't work, and the leg had to be amputated.
Is she doing all right now?
She's fine.
Okay. Now, I'd like to know, Miss Laura, what makes you think that Alex did something to your cat?
When we were sitting at the table, and I saw the cat come this way, and I saw Alex go that way, and then she screamed. There was no one else there, first of all. When we ran there, Alex was standing at the top. It was an exposed stairway, and he was standing at the top there and just looking down. A few days later, I asked him if he did it, and he said yes.
How did he say he did it?
I sat down in my kitchen when he was left with me again, and I just sat down, I looked at him, and I said, "Did you break Eek's leg?" And he looked at me and put his head down and said yes. I believe he threw her down the stairs. I mean, that's the only, because the stairs were, she was on the bottom of the stairs, or towards the bottom.
Now, you said that when you saw your cat go up the stairs, you saw Alex follow her.
She went down the hall, and he went the other way. So she probably ended up right by the stairs, and there's a railing there. And my suspicion, although I don't know, but just from where she landed, was that he had grabbed for her, and she ended up going right over. Again, it's what the vet had told me, but they said there was so much force of the injury, it wasn't just a fall, to have such a bad injury to her leg, to her one leg especially.
Alex, do you remember when the cat got hurt?
No.
You don't remember that day?
I remember the day, not the exact date.
Do you remember going with Miss Laura to the veterinarian with the cat?
Yeah.
Well, that was the day the cat got hurt, okay? Were you there when the cat got hurt?
Yeah.
Were you trying to play with the cat?
No.
Tell me what happened.
I was holding it, it came over me and rubbing it. So I thought it wanted to go downstairs, and I picked it up, and I think it pushed down so hard that I think it broke its leg.
Okay, so you were holding the cat, and it jumped out of your arms and fell down the stairs? Had you played with the cat before, Alex?
No.
That was the first time you ever played with the cat? There were other cats in the house, aren't there?
Yeah.
Do you play with those cats?
Not that much.
Not that much? Do you like cats?
Yeah.
You weren't trying to hurt the cat, were you?
No.
So now you know how it happened. Did your son tell you that before?
Well, see, that's the thing. She didn't ask him.
No, I'm asking you a question.
This story
I'm
is
asking you.
changing.
Shh, listen to me. You're not letting me finish.
Sorry.
Stop being defensive. Did your son tell you at any time before today that that's what happened with the cat?
Oh, I'd say about 4 or 5 days ago. Would be the first time that I heard that he even picked up the cat.
Okay. So this is a recent thing that you just heard. You mean just recently?
Just recently.
A year later?
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something?
Yes.
He also told me that when I sat down and we had an argument, he said that if I pursued this, that he would say he and Ann and the child were sitting in the kitchen together.
What?
That he would lie. You're lying. You know you are.
No, that's ridiculous.
Miss Laura, listen to me.
The consummate victim. That's what she is.
No. Listen to me, sir. There is no question.
Am I done asking?
I don't know what you're getting angry about. She's not a consummate victim. Her cat was injured. But for the actions of your son, her cat would not have been injured. Now, I'm not suggesting to you that this was a purposeful thing. I'm suggesting to you that he's a little child and that he picked up a rather large cat, and the cat may not have been comfortable in his arms when he picked up the cat and wanted to get down. And because they were standing so close to the steps, the cat was thrown down the steps and broke her leg. There may not even be an issue as to liability on your part because you were all there together.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Marie Lohr says her former roommate's son, 7-year-old Alex Rudell, injured her cat. Marie says the cat's leg had to be amputated.
What were the veterinary bills for the cat?
$1985.45.
Can I see the bill, please? Did she discuss these bills with you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Did she ever tell you that she thought you should pay or help pay for these bills?
Eventually done.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So, and what did you tell her?
The thing is that we didn't see anything. I don't know. She's saying she saw Alex and the cat. Mind you, there's 8 cats and 3 great big dogs that live in this house.
Well, right now, let's say it's only a few days ago, sir, if I believe you, that you finally ascertained from your son that he was responsible for the cat's injury.
Correct.
So I'm asking you, let's talk about today.
Okay.
If you knew then what you know now, what would you have said to her with regard to the veterinary bills? Would you have told her to put the cat down because it's too expensive?
Would I have told her?
Yes.
I understand she does love animals. There's no doubt about that.
I'm asking you a question. Would you have told her that it was too expensive, she should put the cat down?
Would I? Yes.
That's what you would have told her. Yes. That's what I assume you would have told her. But that's not an option. You know, people who love animals the same way that some people who have children love their children.
Which I understand.
Okay, so if you understand that, then you can't make that kind of an insensitive comment.
But to me personally, $2,000 for a cat is a lot of money.
Well, $2,000 to fix a cat is a lot of money. And to some, do you have children?
No, they're my children.
Shh, I asked you if you had a question. You have children? Those, as she said,
Right.
are her children. Now, you have one child.
Right.
Right? God forbid something happened to your child. What would you think if somebody said to you, well, we're not going to spend $100,000 to give him that surgery. You can make another one.
I understand that.
How would you feel? Would you think that they were an insensitive moron?
That's not what I meant by it.
Well,
I mean,
what do you mean by it?
just, I mean, it's a lot. I understand the part about the kids being her kids. I
Well, but
understand
you know,
that.
you can't be. I know you say you understand it,
I mean,
but
I
if you
had
say
a
you
cat
understand it,
for
then
the
you have.
longest time.
If you say you understand it, then you have to appreciate how callous that sounds.
It wasn't meant to sound callous.
Well, that was meant to save you some money, and you are partially responsible for this.
No.
I don't think he's totally responsible for it because you were all there, and each of you could have monitored the child a little bit better. Now, what other items do you believe that he owes you?
He stopped payment on a check for his rent.
For what month?
It was actually for August, but he gave it to me in mid-September.
Did he live there in August?
Yeah, he was there all of August.
Okay, so, and he never paid you August rent?
No, it's with this check that he stopped payment on.
Okay, let me see it.
And these are the charges. I don't know if you want those two.
What else?
That was also the utilities. And actually, you have those up there already.
Do you have in your evidence, sir, payment for August rent?
No, ma'am.
What else?
I had the locks changed because I was afraid Rob had threatened my dog Henry and said he was going to shoot him.
Good idea when somebody moves out to change the locks anyway. What else? That's your bill.
Well, actually, I don't ever do it.
Good. Well, that's your problem. You should do it. What else?
I trusted him. The utilities.
What date did you move out, sir?
I believe it was.
It was a
either
Sunday,
week-
16th of September.
Sunday.
It was the 16th of September that you moved out? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because she was threatening my son. She called him
Because I see you wrote this check on
Right.
the 15th of September.
because I was leaving.
To cover what month?
September.
I can't tell whether it's September or October. You have any proof of rent receipts, et cetera, for the entire period from
trusted him,
1999?
and-
Well, he's going to pay you for half of your vet bills. That's $1,000. He's going to pay you this check, which was payment was stopped on this for a month's rent. That's $300.99. And for the $12 for the stop payment, that's $1,312.99. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Anything is possible in terms of how the particular cat got injured.
He tends to have a temper, and I think that when the cat tried to get away, that she launched and he probably just kind of pitched her.
She forced me out of the house. I stopped payment on my check.
When someone says they're going to shoot my dog, I don't ask them if they have a gun or not. I'm just thinking they're going to hurt my dog, and I'm next.
It's done. She can move on with her pathetic life.
And now